number. We have
Ahem. Ahem. Are we ready? Are you ready? I think so. Let's go right now. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's Hal Sparks. Megaworldwide. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show, etc., etc., etc. Like, the little thumbs up thing down there. You see it? Just click on that right away. And it boosts us out into the algorithm in a way that even subscriptions don't. And that irritates the maggot in your life. So I would give that a shot. It's a simple way of doing things. It's a simple way to help. And the chat knows this. Look at this. Look at this lovely folks over here. Hi. What's happening? Here we go. Now, I am going to cover the Norfolk Trump speech, but I've got to jump into a couple of other things and do like a needle drop on a couple of things right out of the gate, if you don't mind, because there's so much to cover, so little time, and it is a Monday, so I want to send you off. I know you guys all have holiday Monday plans, you know, those who keep the sacred day holy. One of the big things is these text messages from the a guy running for AG in, where is he? Where's he running for? Where is he? I don't remember. North Carolina, Virginia. That's where it was. Aha, yes, I see it. Sorry, I should have counted on the clickbait. This would be violent Dem exposed. That's basically the video. I don't even know if I have to play you a clip of. You know, they tell you in thumbnail school that your thumbnails should give a good indication of what's going on inside the video, so people, know if they're, when they're clicking on something, what they're. I have to say, he looks a bit like one of my friend Chris Bono's funny faces when he's screaming. When he does funny face screaming. Is pretty much what it looks like. Violent Dem exposed. Apparently this Violent Dem is crying giant tears of violent joy. That and just in case you don't know who the Dem is in this, he put a red arrow pointing out. It's welcome to Virginia, Virginia's for lovers, and the thing, and then screaming in the like. Benny, good old Bendover Johnson is isn't his middle name Fora? Look out. Well, what do you know? Look, I support everybody being able to be themselves, Benny, and I mean it. You do you. Maybe you'll stop taking out your self-hating frustration on the rest of the world. Allegedly. Just throwing that out there. Just saying. Chat room. I'm not implying, but I am allowing for the inference thereof. I give as good as I get. Yeah? Oh, yeah. No, we're not really going to look at Benny. I'm just going to show you the piece of that video real quick. Just because he opens his shit with a lot of AI slop. I feel like in a tribute to Rob Glenn, I need to play this. Democrats held a vote. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this part so you don't think that, thank God Republicans have not fallen for the demonization of the other side. Thank God they're not using dehumanizing language or imagery towards the other side. In this, and thank you, Benny, for honoring Erica Kirk's call for cooler heads to prevail and just tone down the rhetoric because it leads to violence and. Yeah, that's what Democrats look like to Benny Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about a man named Jay Jones. Now, this is an individual who's running for...
Why'd you do a tongue jet when you said his name? I haven't seen a picture of him, that the one that you're looking at. Is he a thirst trap? Is that what's up?
Attorney General of Virginia. Virginia is
a state.
Very important state. It's where a considerable portion of the federal government lives. Federal government is run right now by Republicans, all three branches of it. There are millions of Republicans in Virginia. How many Republicans are registered in Virginia? Grok or ALX? ALXAI, we call him. It's really hard to tell the difference, frankly, between ALX and actual literal AI. How many Republicans are in Virginia? I would assume there are millions of them. Virginia is one of those states that used to go really soundly red, has a Republican governor right now, Republican lieutenant governor, and a Republican attorney general. It's one of those states that has plenty of good-hearted Republicans in it.
And some dangerous psychotic ones. A lot of tongue jutting today. What's up with that? It's a bit strange. Has he been taking class from Greg Kelly?
And Jay Jones is fantasizing about killing all them and their children. And the Democrat Party is applauding him. And doubling...
Are we? I'm sorry, I forgot. Was I supposed to applaud? I didn't see the sign. Usually I have a sign that goes off at my house that says applaud whenever some rando I've never really heard of says something that's supposed to be indicative of how we all feel.
Down. I want to zoom out for just a second. And
to the fact that this one guy who's running for office for the AG in Virginia versus your show, which has 5.9 million subscribers and 39,000 views on this video that was put up 5 hours ago, and you portray all Democrats as demons who vote against violence and therefore, I suppose, are calling it upon themselves. I mean, I don't think you have to be... I don't think it matters which way you vote. If you're a demon, you must be destroyed, I assume. I mean, and look, I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. Maybe that's Benny's kink, you know what I mean? Some people are furries. Maybe that's his version. Maybe he's a slimy.
Second. Didn't we just all watch Charlie Kirk die after being shot?
No, we all watched him get shot, and then he was not on camera when he died. You found out about it later. Just to be specific about this, you creep.
By a Democrat? Left-wing activist?
No. Mm-mm.
Haven't we watched President Trump?
Hold on, a left-wing activist? Sorry, was he wearing a fucking sandwich board that said vote, like... Hillary Clinton 2028? Get the fuck out of here.
Get shot in the head? A physical bullet hit Trump in the head.
No, it didn't. It hit a piece of glass clipped his fucking ear. It killed Corey Comparator. And that guy his families are all maggots. He's a registered Republican.
Fired by a Joe Biden donor.
No. A guy with the same name voted, who's an adult, registered, gave money, not the kid.
Say that about Thomas
Matthews. He was like 17 or whatever, right?
Crooks, do we? A Joe Biden donor. That's who this individual was, and Joe Biden supporter. Okay, so another Democrat. And he also, of course, killed members of the MAGA family. We then...
Another tongue jet. What's up? This is odd. What do you think it is? Okay. I'm going to hold that thought.
Have witnessed the prosecution and conviction of Ryan Ralph, who was trying any way he possibly could to kill Donald Trump. This is, of course, a man.
Well, I mean, Obviously, he could have tried harder, I suppose, because he didn't even get a shot off anywhere near him.
Who is a Joe Biden donor, supporter, Ukraine activist,
Yeah.
and of course, thousands upon thousands of other leftists committing violent crimes.
Yes, thousands of them. Yeah. So basically, what he means is if a black person shoplifts in a video he's seen on Twitter, he assumes they're a Democratic voter, and that's them, getting their reparations, and therefore left-wing violence. I'm not kidding.
Night. Whether it is the trans,
But I suppose the judge's house being blown up, you're just gonna zip by that. The Minnesota shootings, you're just gonna breeze past those. All the shopping mall and grocery store shootings over race that were clearly about immigration, which were right wing. You're gonna just breeze past those 24, 12, 28 body counts.
shooter in Minneapolis, or the man who just opened fire on an ICE facility and killed a couple of criminal aliens in custody. It's almost too numerous to count all of them. So maybe you don't need any further evidence that the Democrat Party has gone from opposing the Republican Party in peaceful ways, the way that you do at the ballot, and voting your ideas and having robust debate. That's the way that we've normally done things in this country for about...
Is it? Is that how Timothy McVeigh did it? Is that what Ruby Ridge was about?
250 years.
Right.
They have now moved into a very different style of
We've moved into it.
politics. Revolutionary and pre-Civil War style politics, where it is morally permissible to murder your opponent for...
No, for the record, as a Democrat, no, it's not. No, it's fucking not, you weasel.
having a different worldview. It's morally permissible to murder them for power.
Excuse me, was that a bunch of fucking Democrats that built a gallows on the Capitol lawn? Did a bunch of us storm the Capitol saying, hang Mike Pence? Or was that a bunch of your bros?
This is a very different worldview than we've gotten accustomed to fighting in this country. It has been a very long time since we've had to face this. But this...
Well, it hasn't been a long time since Democrats have had to face this. I mean, look at the ratio of death threats towards Obama versus Trump, for example.
This is the nature of humans. It is utterly and totally, by the way, has been the nature of humans forever. We live in a fallen and sunken world.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess we can't help it. Democrats are just carrying out the prophecy of the Lord Jesus Christ so that the world can be a cesspool so he can come back and clean it up.
It is godless. Let's call it what it is.
Has somebody been wrangled back to church lately by accusations about their sexuality? Methinks. And is somebody a little pent up because of it?
If you believe in God, if you are a believer in creation and an all-power...
Of anybody? So, like, if I think a giant crow barfed the world into existence, you're cool with that? If I just lock in on, on Celtic or Odinic mythology, you're fine with that? I mean, I would like to carry around Thor's hammer. If you have the right to bear arms, I feel like I should have the right to bring a Mjolnir into any kind of restaurant.
God that made us, then you're against murder. You're against murder because it's wrong. You don't want it to happen to you because the Bible says so many times.
Yeah, that's not why I'm against it at all. And also, it's no, it's not against it. The Old Testament is for it. Even in the part where it says it's against it, it's for it. Like, it's literally, thou shalt not kill, and then, like, about 4 chapters later is like, except that dude, because he's kissing another dude, so hit him with a bunch of rocks. So, I mean, please.
New Testament, Old Testament?
No, it kind of matters.
Christ?
You can't New Testament and Old Testament Christ. Christ literally came along. The New Testament should be called the New Covenant because it's a wiping clean of the old rules. And yeah, you'd be a lot more relaxed if you understood that.
You're just against murder. But if you're godless and you don't believe that humans have any value, and you
Oh, you mean like Peter Thiel? For real.
believe that
If you think, what's the other guy's name? That all the Thielites are all clamoring for, who thinks that poor people should be turned into biodiesel? These are the guys whispering in J.D. Vance's ear.
we all descended from the animals, and we should just be treated like animals, the way you treat cattle or a dog that's gotten too long in the tooth, as they say. You just take him out back. If a dog becomes
To do what? I mean, I think I know, but I'm not going to assume you and I have the same image of what goes on behind the shed.
an inconvenience or whatever, on the farm, if it's too old or diseased, then you do the old yeller, right? That's what the old timers say, right?
No, they don't say you do the old yeller. It was that's not the technique.
If it's time to eat, if it's time to use the cow for something else other than
This is really weird. Murder is wrong, but let me justify killing of animals as an analogy so that I can make it look like that's what Dems think about people, that they want to slaughter us like cattle, and yet at the same time not say, well, it's necessary, so arguing their point that they're not even making.
grazing, you kill it. If you just believe that we're all descendant from the animals, then when someone is an inconvenience, you just go murder them.
Is that how it works? Because that's what Peter Thiel thinks. I'm just letting you know.
That's not the way that I think. That's not the way that any moral person thinks, but that is a way that a considerable portion of the left thinks these days. And how
No. Citation needed.
can I say that? Well, polling says that, but also their actions say it, and actions maketh the man. I really just don't care what you tell me. Talk is cheap. Yap, 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 yap. We disavow violence. Do you? Here's a perfect opportunity to do that in Virginia. Jay Jones. Sick bastard. Here are the texts. Let's go ahead and read them. Jay Jones says he wants to kill his opponent. Okay. He says not only that, he wants them to be awash in blood. And he wants to piss on their graves. He wants them to die.
Yeah, he's a gross asshole. And here we go. What? Real quick. This is for you, Benny. We all disavow that. What the fuck are you talking about? Tell me this when have this clamoring, weak-kneed, floppy, invalid bullshit argument if he gets elected because people saw those texts. Do you understand? Then tell me the party has gone one way, as opposed to finding somebody who's running, who has not won, or has not, let's see what the state of the race there is, but more than likely won't now, certainly as these things come out, right? Explain to me that the Dems have gone that way when they elect him because he says these things. Meanwhile, tell me all about your 2A solutions. Is that really the problem? Is that what's really digging at you assholes? That somebody else is using your Second Amendment solution language? Is this a trademark dispute? Are you going to file an intellectual property rights violation against him? Because there is no shortage of Republicans clamoring for open war. I'll give you a good example. Hold on. And I think it might even, I don't know if this guy's also in Virginia. Just scrolling for, I call this game Scrolling for Douchebags. Yeah, see, so you know which guy I'm talking about. Yeah, here he is. This dude right here. What's his he's running his title, Don't Push Us. Newsom press office, Stephen Miller is a fascist. That's what apparently the message says. Don't push us is his remedy. Let's just see how peaceful this is.
He and his staff know exactly what they're doing when they're
Yes.
doing this, considering that Charlie Kirk was shot and killed for the fake crime of being a fascist.
Yeah.
No, the guy said he was full of hate. It was about hate language, not fascism. He wasn't part of that because he's not actually part of the administration. He's outside the administration. You can't. I mean, you could be pro-fascist, I suppose, but you have to be materially a part of the administration to be the actual fascists themselves. The language, insofar as we know, that Tyler Robinson was using was that he was full of hate and he was using hate speech, not fascism.
Governor Newsom press office. Stephen Miller is a fascist in all caps.
Yeah, I wonder what he's trying to do there.
I think he's trying to be very clear that Stephen Miller believes in fascism as a governmental methodology, as a reasonable function of government, that he actually thinks that way, that he is he believes in paternalism for the leader of sort of like temporary democracy leading to a monarchy that's held in place by authoritarianism and that has oligarchical power infused money and government mixed together, which is fascism. I think that's exactly what he's trying to say. Not that fascists need to be shot or murdered or strangled or thrown down a flight of stairs or tickled to death. It's not relevant. The idea that, by the way, you can't call someone a fascist who is openly fascistic in what they are talking about is stupid.
Signaling to his pets to go out and kill somebody.
Yeah. Here's what he's doing. Here's what he's doing.
Tell us what he's doing. What's he doing?
He's saying, abdicate in our favor and do what we want, which is to destroy you, or we will sick our party's paramilitary wing out and put.
Right. Yes. The Black Bloc. All the like Antifa fighters who are like a $1.15 fully clothed, soaking wet. Yeah. We're gonna send those people out. To commit war crimes.
Hit on you to kill you. That's what he's saying. Do what we.
I don't think that's what he's saying. I think what he's saying is, and it's only I'm only saying this because I can read, is that Stephen Miller is a fascist. He is, hence the exclamation point. He is a fascist. He's making the case or the accusation directly and with no ambiguity that Stephen Miller is a fascist. Now, whether he gets to implement that fascism fully or whether he's trying and failing or trying and succeeding is a material argument for people to have. But I think ultimately, if I'm reading the words right, what he's saying is Stephen Miller is indeed a fascist. That would be what he wrote.
Or we will let loose the paramilitary wing of the Democratic Party to kill you. That is what this means. When Democrats say this, they're not saying you belong to a political party in Italy in the 1930s. They are saying you are my enemy. This is the magic buzzword that I get to it's almost like sending out the bat signal.
Yes.
Right? We're setting up the signal. We're putting the target on your back.
Jesus Christ. No wonder you think that way. Look at how you decorate your fucking walls. Could you give 1 second of thought to maybe the lens through which you see the world is tinted very heavily with lead? Maybe that's your fixation. Maybe that's why you can't think any other way. Maybe that's why when you call somebody out or threaten their life, you're just joking around. Like if Trump is threatening violence on people, if he's saying he has to swat away the gnat that is the Democratic Party, we got to deal with it, right? And it's obviously violent rhetoric because he's very comfortable with violent rhetoric. But we're supposed to take it in stride and go, he's half-assing it. He'll try but fail, and maybe he won't do it, and it'll be hard to get people to carry it out and all that. And we deal with that in reality all the time. But it might be that you guys wish he would go through with it, and you're sort of jealous when you see what you consider left-wing violence, because in your mind, there seems to be sympathy for the person carrying it out, or, they read our manifestos, but they hide the other side's manifestos that make us all look like assholes, right? Okay. So maybe if you're complaining about the ratcheting up of gun violence or assassination or guns or violence as a remedy, maybe don't put rifles all over your fucking walls. And I think a picture of like them dropping Fat Man or Little Boy, is that what that is? Is that them nuking Japan? I'm just throwing that out there. And the title of this is The Left is Begging for It. And to Nick Freitas and his homicidal cohorts here who think everybody thinks like them and that terrifies them, I would like to say to all three of you assholes, the vast majority of Democrats do not subscribe to any kind of violence, are focused on providing services to human beings who need them, are looking out for people who are downtrodden in our society. That's the focus. Always has been. And you guys are the ones that have been clamoring around for two-way solutions, stormed the fucking Capitol when you lost an election fair and square, yelling that you were going to hang your own vice president. So piss off. Other than that, I have no opinion. Hit the like, share the show. And by the way, if you think my language, if I should tone it down and stop using big boy language, please feel free to leave a comment below. Do you think they bought it? That whole leave a comment below thing that you're supposed to do to manipulate your followers into giving you extra clicks? I hope not. You what? Yes, ma'am. I don't know. I'm just trying to help grow the show. It's the fart version of Charlie Brown's teacher. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, I want to look at one more thing. I want to look at a bunch more things. I got to be honest. Real quick. This is... Remember how Rasmussen has their own little channel? And and while Benny Johnson's got 5 million subscribers, Rasmussen, the polling group that basically keeps Trump afloat in his mind, has their own little channel, has 127,000 subscribers. And this video I'm going to show you, it's only about an hour old, but it's got about 1,300 views. I'm going to jump in a little piece of this because it's a long one. This guy, instead of just reading the polls, he's going over some of the polling that they showed and the reaction on the right to it. And this is called Must Watch. It's not working. The right must change course now. I'm sorry. I'm starting to get the feeling that Trump's numbers suck. That there is a real issue with how they're taking his stomping on personal freedoms. And they weren't, some of them anyways, weren't pretending to support those things. They're all in.
That this poll is blowing things up behind the scenes. A gut punch to the conservative movement because...
Oh boy.
Well, let me just read some of this. A shocking number of young Trump voters support socialist policies. A Democrat socialist president in 2028, and even UN supervision of America, according to a new...
Yeah, you heard that right.
Poll from Rasmussen Reports and Justin Haskins. The stuff in here is incredible. 76% of young voters agree that major industries like healthcare, energy, and big tech should be nationalized to give more control and equity to the people, including a strong majority of young Republicans, over 70%. 53% would like to see a Democratic socialist candidate win the 2028 presidential election, including a huge amount, 35% of those who said they voted for Trump in 2024. 55% said they would support a law that would confiscate Americans' excess wealth, including things like second homes, luxury cars, private boats, in order to help young people buy a home for the first time. Absolutely horrible stuff. There was even...
I don't know, Chad. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Yeah. Yeah. So you can understand, right? That was a poll. That was an actual poll Rasmussen put together. It was the other guy that works for him, so he was reading the results of it. It wasn't his poll to put together. But this, and by the way, when they're talking about like socialist programs, what they mean is like student loan forgiveness, right? That kind of stuff. By the way, when while everybody, yeah, here it is. Let's see. Hey, remember when Trump said, we're gonna get in there and get rid of that student loan forgiveness. We're gonna dump on that shit, buddy. We're gonna get rid of that stuff. Remember that? If Biden wants to try to forgive everybody's loans, that's not fair. I must not have Facebook up in my chat. Yeah, I do. That would be you. There you go. And remember all that stuff? Trump administration resumes student loan forgiveness for some borrowers, trade group says. The Trump administration has restarted a student loan forgiveness under a program that's been partially paused since July, a trade group told CNBC. The U.S. Department of Education said this summer that it was temporarily not canceling the debt of student loan borrowers enrolled in income-based repayment plans while it responded to court orders. Well, guess what? The Trump administration has resumed forgiving student debt for some borrowers enrolled in a program that's been partially paused since July. Thanks, Joe Biden. Borrowers who have been in repayment for decades and are eligible for debt cancellation under the Income-Based Repayment Plan, or IBR, are getting notices that they will soon receive relief. Now, why is that? Trump tried to stop it, and what they were trying to do was stop it long enough that these people, when they had their loans repaid, or forgiven, that they would have to still pay taxes on the forgiven loan, so that the Trump administration could budget for that tax revenue to make their numbers look better. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's December is the date. Let's say 200 years, depending on the age, to pause many students, borrowers who've been repaid for decades were eligible for forgiveness, especially frustrating bind. Higher education experts. That's because IBR is the only income-driven repayment plan is still available that leads to loan erasure. Pause this. The department said that the 8th U.S. Circuit Court decision in February, which blocked the SAVE plan, had other impacts on student loan repayment. Under the SAVE plan, certain periods during which borrowers postpone their payments would count towards their forgiveness timeline. With SAVE blocked, borrowers no longer get credit during those forbearances, like COVID and shit like that, or between jobs if they, the time when they leave school and when they find a job, or if they're laid off, right? Central to the recent, and this is the primary reasoning for the timing of it. Still used to resolve the AFT litigation. Yes, as of 31st, there's 74,510 person backlog of borrowers waiting for their PSLF determination. They need to have it by December, or they have to pay taxes on the forgiven loan, like it's income. And the court gave them relief because that time is coming up. So, and Trump, you didn't hear, he didn't come out and take credit for that, did he? Just, did you guys, and by the way, anybody else see that, know that? I mean, it was a relatively minor story. And I can understand why they wouldn't want any of it, anybody to talk about it, but that's one of the things. Oh, the audio is too low? I'm trying to bring it up. Are my audio is too low? No, it seems all right. Check it at 1, check it at 2. Hello, check. All right.
Trump voters, only 33% of them said no when offered a list of options of what to set an income cap at. So even Trump voters in the 18 to 39-year-old bracket want incomes capped. That's pretty socialistic. And so the trend, in my opinion, isn't that these people who voted for Trump are more conservative or more capitalistic or any of that. They basically want the system burned down because...
Right. Yes. Accelerationists. Exactly. And they don't care who gets hurt in the interim. This idea that the Trump voters, by and large, want a benefit to the country. And by the way, a bunch of them want it to burn down too because they think there's going to be some sort of majestic dictator-like overlord that will take care of all their problems. Sorry, no Substack is up. I will check that. Beg your pardon. It's always something. Let's see if we get this good over here. I don't know. Well, all right. Let's continue.
We aren't offering a better situation for them or speaking their language. This must change. Well, maybe they should speak our language. Maybe they should just buck up and become capitalists. Good luck with that. It's not going to win these people over. They're just going to play video games. If these problems aren't fixed,
I think the solution always in these circumstances is to immediately assume loser status on behalf of an entire generation of people and not reflect on your system at all.
Society that these people here build is going to be completely unrecognizable. It is not going to be what you grew up with. It absolutely isn't. I mean, these people.
Yeah, we're not going to have leaded gas and long lines at gas stations and nuclear proliferation. And stop me when I get to the thing that you'll miss the most.
Don't even believe in capitalism. Positive support for capitalism in Gallup numbers, they track this every year, is down to 54%, the lowest it's ever been, and it's driven by these people. They don't even know what capitalism is, and obviously the school system isn't teaching them correctly. But can you blame that on them? I don't think you can.
No, I blame it on you and Glenn Beck and all these other people who've taught them that capitalism isn't just a simple market-based mechanic for buying and selling and trading of goods and land and other elements, and is actually some sort of religious right that you have to apply to everything, lest it has no meaning whatsoever, and that poor kids need to bootstrap, otherwise they really won't know the value of a nickel.
But it gets even worse. It's not just the fact that they have problems; they have mental.
By the way, everybody at home, are your nipples hard yet? They should be. I mean, this kind of information, when you start polling maggots and this is what you're getting, my nipples could cut glass. If we were trapped in a submarine, I could get us out.
Their dating scenes messed up. They're not capitalistic. They want drastic solutions to the problems that have been dumped in their lap. Well, one of the problems is that they don't even want the same things on a gender basis. Look at these numbers out of NBC News. On the left side, you have how people define success, a definition of success.
Okay, so, yeah, and I'm guessing 3 or 4% wash. So basically, the having children's a wash, able to retire early, and being. Oh, I see. They're different setups.
Among Gen Z men who say they voted for Trump. And that is
Gen Z men who say they voted for Trump. And if you could say one thing about Gen Z is that they love answering truthfully to online polling.
Most Gen Z men did vote for Trump. So most of these men, these young men, say that definition of success for them is having children, 34%, financial independence, 33%, fulfilling job or career, 30%. You would expect a young man to have these ambitions, but being married is up there at 29%. So 34% having children, 29% being married. But then look at the other side, women who voted for Kamala Harris. And that's most women. Most women under 30 did vote for Kamala Harris. And overwhelmingly, what they want is a fulfilling job or career.
Oh, my God. Wait a minute. Wait. You do realize that on this side, the 34% having children requires no mechanical input on their part other than whereas the woman is actually responsible for pushing it out of her body. Also, age difference. These are Gen Z. Hold on. This is Gen Z. Are these Gen Z women? Right. Okay.
They want to be seen. They want to make a splash. They want people to look up to them as a strong, stunning, and brave career woman. And okay, I applaud that. My wife has a great career in education.
It's adorable. I mean, every night when she comes home, I go, Tell us all about how amazing your work was, lady. Yeah, and then we sit across the dinner table and grumble.
Also raised 4 children and took a break in order to do it. But this is really strong. This is what they want. They want to have money to do things, 46%, having emotional stability, 39%, using talents and resources to help others, 37%, financial.
This is, by the way, I would like to say for the record, one thing, you can almost tell, like, what you have to strive for versus what you expect should be relatively easy as far as like important for personal definition of success. You're not successful if you have children. That's just something that's part of who you are. It's not like, oh, success, I had a kid, because women can have a kid without a dude being around is the idea. So it's not that you don't get points in the world currently for having children. You should, but you don't. And also, being married isn't a status thing. It's a lot easier for a woman who wants to be married than it is for a guy who wants to be married. So these are just an inverse of the things that are easy for people to get and things that are hard for them to get. And the reason these are flip-flopped is because in our society, it's harder for women to have a fulfilling career and the ability to have fun and do what they want because of, rapey McPussygrabber out there and his cohorts and the Matt Gateses of the fucking world. So when you say, what do you want to achieve? You think of the things that you will have to try and achieve. I'll be a success. You're not really a success if you do things that you can do naturally that don't really require much effort. In the case of women, in most cases, being married and having children, it's not a ton of work. It's fairly easy, even temporarily. Men, on the other hand, it's more work, right? And it's considered aspirational.
Independence, 32%. Okay, some of these are noble and good. Some of these are a little self-centered. Some of these might be a siren song of things that are being presented to them as what they should want by the feministic college system and the way they've been brought up and the way that media and entertainment present women.
That's right. I blame Netflix.
Okay, fine, maybe. But look at the bottom. What do these women absolutely not want? They don't want to get married and they don't want to have children.
Nope. No. All right, Mr. fucking pollster. That is not. It says important to personal definition of success. It sounds to me like Gen Z girls are a lot more literal about what the word success means is career-oriented. Maybe because they think that's the way they should think, because generations before them weren't even allowed to do that similar thing. Or maybe it's because that's what they think the questioner is asking. And then I guarantee there's some in this one that the idea that Gen Z men are their highest priority is having children is a bunch of Elon Musk like proto-creationist blather.
They don't think that those are definitions of success.
Right, because they can do them with quite little effort.
And I've heard people on Twitter tell me, well, that's just the patriarchy, and why should these people be domestic slaves? It's like, okay, if that's your opinion, it's a messed up society. And in many of these people's cases, they will get married. They will have children. But it will be deferred into their late 30s. They're just deferring this stuff. And, their selections aren't going to be as good. They're not going to have as many children. And in any case, when young men and young women are so far apart, this is a very, very, very important sign that our society is deeply and fundamentally jacked up. And we can all...
He had an edit there. I don't know why.
Conjecture about the reasons, postmodernism, Marxism.
Yeah, I blame postmodernism and Marxism, and it has nothing to do with social media and Twitter. It has nothing to do with Elon Musk directing all the boys in one direction and college effectively becoming a feminization exercise, which is the argument that they always make it on that way, simply because what they want you to do is sit down and learn.
The influence of people in media, it's everywhere. But this is the damage. And it gets even worse economically, it's almost hopeless for Americans. A lot of people don't track this because why would the establishment track wealth inequality? But there
Look at this, man. Look who's suddenly giving a shit about wealth inequality.
are problems. Massive, massive problems with wealth inequality. People track the Gini coefficient. I don't know if that's the right one. This is my own metric here that I believe shows very, very, very clearly that there has been a systematic murder of the American dream. You can almost pinpoint it exactly on the chart. What this chart tracks is per capita government debt. That means divide up all the government debt by the number of Americans. You can cut it different ways. You'll probably have the same trend, you know, if you did it by taxpayer or whatever. So this is your personal debt burden divided by the median real income. What is the income of the exact middle human in America? And you can look at the debt and say, wow, it's spiraling out of control. Well, it would be fine if incomes were rising to meet it, but that is not the case. And so you can see that this ratio has just absolutely, absolutely exploded.
Jesus Christ. You know what we're watching? We're watching this motherfucker get blue-pilled. Rasmussen just got blue-pilled. And I just watched a video a couple days ago about how like the death of the blue pill and how it was a big mistake and all that kind of shit. Good Lord. This is your graph using your statistics as your idea? Oh, there you go, AJ. Middle human. I don't know. Just because he doesn't know how to talk. But think about this. Like the guy who like almost single-handedly from a polling standpoint elevated Trump. If there's a Charlie Kirk of polling, it's fucking Rasmussen. And it's that particular dude, Michael, what's his name? Mark Mitchell. Like carrying Trump's testicles everywhere they went, trying to give him the best wording on the questions, to guarantee him better polling numbers, to really lift him up and make, artificially inflate support through their languaging. And now, good Lord. Let's see. It's misleading because it includes the billionaire class, which used the ratio upwards. Yeah, but it's not going to affect the per capita that much because there are billionaires in this country, but not that many. And even still, and this is against the mean. The point isn't whether his graph is genuine or effective or whatever. The point is the realization he is coming to is legit. Like, think about, because it's not, none of this is news to any of us, but to fucking Rasmussen to start going, uh-oh, guys, they're on to us. Is basically they're starting to figure out that the red pill was all bullshit. Hold on, I need that's when I call for it right now. There you go.
That was just bullshit, Joel.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. All right, one more thing, and then I got to get into this Navy shit. And I don't even know if I want to look at this video. We all know that Lee Camp is a fuck, right? He's just a complete twat. He's a creep. Just an asshole. Self-involved, faux-aggressive shitheel. And if you need more of an excuse, and I don't know, does he have him on as a guest? Yeah, he has him on as a fucking guest. Look at that. There's good old Lee Camp. Having on his good buddy, Scott Ritter. Twice convicted pedophile, Scott Ritter. Scott Ritter, he that lived rent-free in Russia for years and has an open invitation to go back anytime he wants, except when they won't let him travel because he's a pedophile. Yeah, Lee Camp, if you have to hunt around to find, and by the way, this is Scott Ritter on Russia, Ukraine, and Iran. If you can't find somebody, anybody, to even carry the fucking Russian party line about Ukraine, that you have to go dig around in the swamp where fucking Scott Ritter lives, yeah, it has to be a choice. I mean, there's no excuse. How do you fucking not know at this point? We know Jimmy Dore's okay with him. We know Kurt Metzger's okay with him. Lee Camp is okay with him. There's something about these like rich, progressive assholes where they just can't stop cozying up to that twice convicted pedophile. And I mean that, twice. The first time, he did community service and they would expunge the conviction. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. And it doesn't mean we have to memory hole it. It just means for legal purposes, it didn't exist. Which, by the way, had it been on the records, had he not been able to plea away that first one, when he was caught trying to fuck a 15-year-old decoy from the police department, try to like straight up, like to catch a predator, walked right into that fucking rake and got arrested. If that hadn't been expunged before, he'd have done serious time instead of like whatever 2 years. Anybody who has like, if you want to have somebody on who wants to shit on Ukraine and sell the Russian line and all that kind of stuff, have at it. There are plenty of them out there. They're scattered all over the right-wing media sphere. You can find a bunch of them. And as fucked up and stupid and awful as they are, the majority of them, insofar as I know, are not twice convicted pedophiles. And let's see how he welcomes in.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, pleasure to talk to you again. It's been a little while, and I want to get updates on everything Russia, Ukraine, proxy war, and Iran as well. But before we get to that, I actually haven't spoken to you since your home was raided by the FBI. I was wondering if you can quickly say how that's going and whether there's any residual effects. Have they?
Are you okay?
Told you why? Anything?
Well, when they came to the door, they made it clear that they were accusing me of violating the Foreign Agent Registration Act. That they believed that I was operating as an agent of the Russian government, an unregistered agent of the Russian government. And I told them, I said, it's curious because as somebody who's familiar with the law, first of all, there is no crime unless I willfully fail to register. And the willfulness can't come until the U.S. government has made a case that I have failed to register. That
right. This is bullshit. Like that. He's like, I don't have to tell you I'm being paid by the Russian government until you ask me, and then I have to answer affirmatively. That's not how the law works, fuckwad. And like, is that Lee going, sounds like bullshit to me? Or like, hey, could you teach me how to be a bullshitter like you? That's amazing. So either way, fuck these guys. What a bunch of horseshit. But never mind that fact. Lee Camp was very excited to speak with a twice convicted pedophile again so that he could get the proxy war take on Ukraine and the pro-Russian angle. Which, by the way, he could wrangle up dozens of people to shit on Ukraine and talk up Vladimir Putin's, the importance of the Ruska Mir and all that shit that at least haven't been convicted as pedophiles yet. I'll give him that. Maybe I'm being too generous. Maybe it is very difficult when you're trying to find somebody to take the pro-Putin line to find somebody who isn't a pedophile. And you just have to at least find one that hasn't been convicted yet, I suppose, is, because at the very least, that should be the standard. At least you get the benefit of the doubt of, our American jurisprudence and the idea that everybody's innocent until proven guilty, which is, by the way, the exact opposite of the Russian system, where you basically have to admit guilt before you can get a trial or they'll throw you in jail just cuz. Good Lord. All right, now, one more thing. The Rasmussen thing we watched just a second ago? Hit that like, by the way. Share the show. Also, leave a comment if you're watching this as a video. And just let me know you've seen the video and that kind of thing. Also, follow me on Blue Sky and Instagram and other things that I'm supposed to say. Also, Venmo, I suppose. There you go. The Rasmussen thing that I was showing you that was freaking out Glenn Beck and the Rasmussen guys that suddenly There's a bunch of people who voted for Trump who hope we get a Democratic socialist president next time, which, by the way, those are people who want the system to collapse so that, this thing will magically happen. And they used to align themselves socially with the Democrats, but they more like indie anarchist libertarian fuckwads. But they lean Trump's way because they think he'll crash the system. They're accelerationists, which is exactly what I was talking about. Well, they're looking at this rift and going, oh dear, oh no, what's going to happen? Our own side is eating itself. Well, there's a lot of that going around, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a special slice of cuckoo for you today. The right is splitting. And it couldn't happen a moment too soon. Man, oh man. I need to hear this. Poisoning the well. Tucker, Candace, and the right's civil war over Israel. Apparently, and I'm just judging from this, I know I don't let clickbait guide you too much. Understood. But it doesn't look like Roseanne is liking what she's hearing. It looks like Dinesh is a turtle, actually. And then the two of those together is nightmare fuel. Okay, so.
And let's look at it from the radical Muslim point of view. They're the little Satan. We're the great Satan. So they actually understand how this all stacks up.
Oh,
well said. What?
they get it totally.
They get it totally.
But we don't. And I mean, I was just looking at the internet. I'm like, my God, they have totally censored any kind of sane opinion about what's really going on in the Middle East, specifically Israel, what Israel's doing.
So what you're telling us is that you haven't been censored at all. Congratulations.
They have censored anything sane about Israel.
Right. That, yes. To my point, you have not been censored, I'm assuming, from your statement.
Israel on all, almost all fronts, on YouTube, on BitChute. It's all just,
Wait a minute. Whoa. On BitChute? Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus Christ. Does anybody know what BitChute is? BitChute is the Craigslist pick up free shit in my driveway so I can lure you into the house and duct tape you to a support pole in my basement and use you as a piñata version of YouTube. BitChute is, let's see if I go away, silly thing. This is BitChute. BitChute is like, this is some gnarly shit. Sometimes, like, in the past, I've gone a couple of, like, I've gone knuckle deep in some of these things. But it is, InfoWars is on there, even still. Let's see, Pirate Pete, Beautiful Violent Fans, okay, like, whatever. Don't Tread on Me, which I think replays a lot of Candace Owens shit. Let's see. Applying the reason. Let's see. This is the. Let's go to trending. October. This is the Great Monetary Reset. There you go. So Nisara Jassara, the Great Reset is what is happening. Restored Republic via GCR. That's the forgiveness of all debt and the resetting of all currency. AI government is here. The right votes down Epstein files. There you go. From the Last American Vagabond. That's a 4-hour stream with 4,700 views. Things will never be the same after this. We are truly in a brave new world. Michael Jackson and Hitler singing together. I think that's an AI reference thing. Just nose ring theory. This is the theory that septum piercing means you're a crazy leftist. That's been around for a while. A lot of this stuff is, kind of standard. Hashtag Trump. BitChute, there you go. Blackmailed Trump, censored knowledge. Alex Jones full show with Roger Stone. Monday Night Hoax stream. Climate psyops. Billy She is exposed. Oh, that's the song, I guess. Whatever. Let's see. Guillotine execution fake as fuck. The so-called homily. Okay, whatever. Hollywood Trump derangement syndrome on full display. Trump meme reel. That kind of shit. Anyways, it's all just like it's like right wing YouTube boiled down to its absolute carnal essence. Yes. So the idea that they're over here, yeah. the idea that like she's worried about censorship. Can you imagine what it would take to censor something on BitChute? Just the glancing at the shit I just showed you. Chat room, just understand. Yeah, Billy Shears killed Kennedy, clearly. What would you think if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. Sorry, I used to do that and make my mom laugh when I was a kid. Because she like, and my grandmother liked my singing, so she my dad's mom had the Yesterday album. I've talked about that in my stand-up, and we just played the shit out of it because it was the only kind of new music, and so I would just egg the word key that singing, and anyways, just us, just personal. This is why I don't talk about my family stuff, because you guys don't appreciate it. Sorry. Okay, back to the nuttiness. BitChute.
Shoot anti-Semitism everywhere. And I mean, they've won. And they've targeted the minds of the youth. And they're all going to be like,
the Utes.
Listening to Candace and Nick Fuentes.
Oh, damn. Candace and Nick Fuentes. Can you imagine their babies? How do white nationalists deal with being upstaged in their white nationalism by a guy with a Hispanic last name and a black girl?
And Tucker Carlson, and I imagine
who I'm not quite sure genetically what that is. Tucker Carlson, I think he's part marshmallow. Is that do we know?
I like wood.
I don't know what his genealogy is. What is his haplogroup or whatever is? I think it's just one of those. Sorry, if you shaved a teddy bear and got it wet.
Deeper and longer.
All right, so
Charlie Kirk was really bothered by that. I imagine he felt. They say, he felt pressured by Israel, but he didn't have a lot of Jewish donors at all, and I think that he was feeling pressured by those people's rising numbers.
Charlie's donors are. Look, in any organization that is a youth organization, you have a constituent.
Yeah, you can have a bunch of old men from the Republican Party giving money so they can hang out with them. Sorry, that's not what you were going to say?
Constituency, which is young people, and you're going to get money from older people.
Oh yeah, especially the touchy-feely types.
So the older people,
Matt Schlapp. How much does it cost to go? Can I have a backstage pass? If you know what I'm saying.
Are going to represent the mainstream of the Republican Party, which is pro-Israel. This may have a subset of Jews in it, but it's not primarily Jews.
Right.
It's basically rich people of an older generation who believe in the Reaganite tradition that Israel is our best ally. So yes, it's not the first time in the history of nonprofits that you got, a guy navigating between a younger constituency that's, as you say, being kind of seduced or tempted away to an anti-Israel
by some sort of snake in a garden. I'm just spitballing here, but
position, and then his money is coming from basically pro-Israel people. That's not going to get him assassinated. That's actually normal. When I was at AEI, you'd have all these corporations that were giving us money, all right? And then the AEI economists, who are free market guys, would say, listen, we're against government bailouts, we're against any kind of subsidies, and all.
American Enterprise Institute, for those listening.
These companies would be like, wait a minute, we want subsidies for us.
Right.
And so tension between, our free market constituency, that's why we exist, and of course the donors who are corporate and generally support free markets, but on the other hand, if they can get something from the government, they're only...
Yeah, that's a little different than what's happening in Israel and Gaza right now, though, I would say, as far as ratcheted up tension and the cost of doing business, as it were.
Happy to take advantage of it. So
honestly, shipping subsidies, and don't the donor class expecting a certain level of those was not enough to shut down the AEI.
I think this was Charlie's predicament. But to go from that, which is a completely normal situation that he was trying to navigate, to somehow, take a look at this picture, guys. Here is a pipe that can be seen in the video of Charlie's assassination. I think there was like a Mossad guy who came out of that pipe. That was the real shooter. I mean, this kind of stuff is so idiotic and bad for our side.
I don't know. I think it's great. I think it's finally getting you some eyeballs on the rift, and I'm glad we're getting to see it and stuff. And believe me, Candace's takes have just gotten sharper. Man, they're snappy now. There's no give in them at all. They're just tight. Tight like the wiry muscles of a maniac in an asylum who's been trying to claw his way out of a cell for years and has developed into kind of a sinewy Renfield type, but tight nonetheless.
And so it's hard
But
for me to
aren't there
believe.
donors that pulled out because of Tucker Carlson before the assassination of Charlie?
Of course. I mean, I was telling you just before we got started that I know one of them, probably Charlie's largest donor. And this is a guy who had sort of had it. And I think what it was is that at the beginning, he saw that, look, Tucker's got a big following. A lot of Tucker's admirers became admirers not because of the anti-Semitism, not because of his view of it.
No, but it was like a plus. You know what I mean? Like, it's like when you have a piece of that gum that squirts in the middle and you didn't know that's what it does. And you're like, that was relatively pleasant for a second. Was not expecting that.
Israel.
It's like that's the jelly in their donut is his anti-Semitism. A little extra bigotry.
They were admirers when he was on Fox News.
Yes,
they supported him when he
absolutely.
got fired. He was the ultimate poster boy of political incorrectness.
Yeah.
This
Thank
was
you,
the
Lisa.
appeal of Tucker.
Well, that's why we all liked him.
That's why we all.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I was like, I don't, and you didn't realize he was anti-Semitic, so you just kind of brushed aside. He was bigoted towards the people you were bigoted towards, and it didn't include you. It's like you're a walking, meme or saying. When Tucker had disdain for the Chinese immigrant, the Mexican, I didn't say anything, for I was a rich comedian.
Too. You did a tour with him
I did.
not too long ago, yeah.
Yeah. So
It's your fault. I see. Maybe it did just happen. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe the anti-Semitism wasn't around the whole time. Maybe he was like, ugh. Maybe you were the first Jew he'd seen in years, and he was like, that can't be good.
Yes, Charlie had a donor problem prior to all that, and
Because a lot of his donors did not like Tucker Carlson.
well, they also didn't like the degree of
Dave Smith, too.
prominence. Like they noticed that even after all this, even after Charlie had heard from 30 people or 100 people, this is a problem. Like, who's the keynote speaker at their upcoming December conference? Tucker Carlson, who was right up there at the funeral. I mean, it's not easy to get that speaking slot. Tucker Carlson. So I'm
guessing because he bought his way onto the stage. He's one of the donors.
think this is symbolic of a problem in the Republican Party.
I do too.
And one that has to be taken head on. Now, I think the problem with it a little bit is this.
I don't think it is a problem, actually, now that I think about it. I'm kind of actually enjoying you guys jumping on each other.
And that is that Tucker is the man who, quote, asks questions.
He does, but sometimes he makes statements.
I like wood. Deeper and longer.
That's right.
Right? That's how he says, I'm not taking a position. I'm only asking questions.
I've heard from so many people who
Oh, dear God.
experienced post-COVID back side effects.
Oh, my God. She's doing ads. Have you? They call you, and they're like, give me your Donald Trump handgun.
Some in my family, and the stories are heartbreaking. One woman told me that after getting the jab and then a booster, she was never the same. She said her whole body felt like it was burning from the inside out, and she...
I don't know. I've heard that some people got holy water instead of a vaccine because some religiously devout people didn't want to give the vaccine, so they were giving people shots of holy water thinking that it would bless them or whatever. And some of your friends and followers must be obviously demons, and it affected them, negatively.
Couldn't eat. She was exhausted and in pain, and no one in the medical system had any answers for her.
I'm going to go with she had COVID. Like, at the time she got she got COVID, didn't get tested, just went in and got her shot and had COVID at the same time, and then had an...
Stories like that.
That's why I recommend apple-flavored fenbendazole. Now in yummy green apple horse flavor. You can drink it, add it to yogurt or breakfast cereal as a topping. You can also use the convenient available plunger to stick it up your poop chute and go... If you hear the... That's 20% off.
Show just how isolating, how scary it can be, which is why I want to tell you about the wellness company's ultimate spike detox.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Somebody goes and they get a big mining helmet on, and they open up your poop chute, and they go in there with a pair of needle nose pliers and ding, pull them out like thorns. Just doing, doing. Are you almost done? It's one of the greatest experiences I've ever had.
Moon River.
Just check out today, twc.health.
You using the whole fist, Doc?
RB.
Whew. Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
Developed by Dr. Peter McCullough, this doctor-formulated blend is designed to help your body clear spike proteins while also supporting your immune system, heart, and brain. It
Not in that order, I hope.
combines 7 natural ingredients.
And 12 unnatural ingredients.
Nattokinase to help.
Nattokinase. It's a Japanese, it's a thing Japanese people eat a lot of, and it's good for your heart. It has nothing to do with fucking COVID or spike proteins, you fucking twit. Hold on. Now I'm getting annoyed. Wait. Now I'm getting hold on. Nattokinase. I think it's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's an enzyme extract from natto, a traditional Japanese food. It's fermented food. It's kind of like essence of kimchi in some ways. It's actually perfectly fine for you. I'm just saying. It's a wonderful supplement. But you by no means, let's see, nattokinase. Here you go. This is, prepare yourself. What is nattokinase? Get ready. You ready? Okay. Puts the goo on your peanuts is what it does. This is a terrible picture. Nattokinase is a natural enzyme found in fermented soybeans. And that's what that is. That's fermented soybeans. Dave, have you been fermenting the soybeans again? I didn't do anything, Mom. God damn it, I have to throw out the whole thing. This is delicious. Yeah, I made it with my own. All right. This is... Sorry. So, yeah. It's kombucha, right, yeah. Well, it prevents blood clots. It's, but it's a natural food source thing or whatever. So the idea that this dipshit is like, I've stumbled on natural kind. You guys didn't even know about this. I'm like, yeah, it's in fucking... eat some fermented foods is the whole thing. Like, it's the reason why our grandparents had pickles with everything, or sauerkraut, or if you're, or kimchi or some other version of fermented vegetables, is because we don't drink fucking ditch water when we eat anymore, so we lose a lot of enzymes, and so you replenish them that way, and it's good for you overall. And that's, our grandparents weren't full of shit. Like, we look at their silly little meals, and but for the World War II level poverty aspect of it, most of their ideas were fairly good.
Break down spike protein.
No, it doesn't.
Promaline to
Promaline, better than the antifamalene.
Support immune health, and turmeric with black pepper to reduce inflammation and repair.
I wish it had turmeric though. I don't touch turmeric. Yeah.
cells. If you or someone you love is still suffering, don't wait.
Does it matter what they're suffering from?
Go to
Like a belligerently inflated ego? Does that count?
twc.health/RB and use code RB for 10% off
That would be Roseanne Barr, I guess.
plus free shipping.
Candace takes I would call it, and all of this is slightly comedic, but in a dark way.
Yeah, and obviously, Roseanne, you don't know anything about comedy. Let him explain it.
She's always conducting a personal investigation. She's like, I've got my journalists. I want to recruit you, my audience, to be journalists. Send me videos. We're going to get to the truth of the matter. Citizen journalism. Now, all of this has a kind of respectable patina.
Veneer.
It's a veneer because, first
Yes, a patina veneer.
of all, this journalism never produces anything.
Yes, it does. It's created a wonderful rift in your party. I mean, you may not like what it's created, but I think it's fucking gorgeous.
It never actually comes to a conclusion. It actually never produces an incontestable fact where all
Uh-oh, Alex Jones. I think he's on to you.
of us can look at it and go, you know what? That is obviously true. We didn't know that before. We need to revise our previous understanding. It's never like that. It's always some extremely wacky theory that never goes anywhere and is
Yeah, it sounds like everything Trump believes. Like you're born with a finite number of heartbeats, and when you run out, you die.
replaced by another even more wacky theory. So this is the surreal world we are.
I'm starting to understand the appeal with maggots. Do you think this is less about the fact that she's full of shit and more about the fact that your side clamors to follow people that are blazingly full of shit? Perhaps. Did that occur to you? That it ain't about her? Again, who is more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows them?
moving into, and
I'm so wise.
I'm all for asking questions.
Me too.
In a way, it embarrasses me because
I'm not, I don't think. Am I? Am I all about asking questions? Am I comfortable with asking questions? Do I ask a lot of questions? Do I ask too many questions? Do I ask enough questions? Am I pro-question? No, I don't think I am, actually. No. Mm-mm.
I want to do a citizen inquiry into the one thing Candace will never do, and that's the Catholic Church and its horrible record on child
Damn! Sharts fired.
molestation and
Yeah, nobody's ever talked about that. Yeah, when are people going to bring that up? Maybe the next time you can mention a Catholic priest without someone immediately thinking the word pedophile. How about then? Like the only guy you don't think of that way is the current pope. And you guys hate him.
trafficking. Candace ought to look into that. Boy, that'd get her a lot more viewers. But I plan
Well-
to do that, and why she apologizes for all that and hides it.
well, the other thing about the church that has been very disturbing is the
Oh man. What is happening? This is amazing. Congratulations, Monday. You've really done the hard work. Rasmussen's talking about how half the Trump voters want a fucking socialist future where the government nationalizes tech industries and pays for college and helps everyone buy a home by seizing third homes and yachts from the super rich and that kind of stuff. And then these assholes are leading on with the problem with the church is in response to criticisms of Charlie Kirk's death. Think about that for a second. How the fuck did this get looped into that? Also, by the way, Candace thinks that Charlie was close to converting to Catholicism, and that might be one of the new reasons why they get, because she's Catholic, and so is Nick Fuentes, and so she thinks that's why, and that's why they're jumping on her with this too.
way in which, well, the Catholic Church was hit with a lot of lawsuits. They, I think, were facing in certain areas major bankruptcy.
Yeah.
But then they discovered almost like a business, like another source of revenue. Illegals, right?
Right,
Because
exactly.
if you can,
That's what it is. Yeah, you know what? You know where there's some real money? Father Jenkins. I think I figured out where the real money is. We help these illegals and pretend it's all this Jesus-y nonsense that we allegedly believe, but really we'll just make money hand over fist taking care of these illegals. That's what we'll push for, more illegals in the country. By the way, which is the story they tell about Jews. What do you fucking think Charlottesville and all that Jews will not replace us thing is? That's what they're talking about. They think it's a Jewish plot to control the Democratic Party, lower the fucking, border wall or whatever, knock it over, and let them all storm in so that they can vote, I don't know, anti-choice Catholics. I don't know what they expect, why that is. But the point is that they believe, the right wing believes that, that Jews are behind this, or were for a while. And now she's like, actually, the Catholics are behind it. This is so... Lord, hold on. I feel like I have... do we have music that's appropriate to the... no, I have it here somewhere. Let's see. Because didn't we make some? I know, I didn't transfer it, did I? Like an asshole. Son of a dog doodle. Hold on. Maybe there's... I know, I have this one. Lord, thank you for blessing us upon this day in your wonderment and in a joyful and heroic manner, delivering unto us a manic Monday, where we were once able to make the bus on time, not today. And Lord, we want to thank you from the heart of our bottom for the internecine fighting between the tribes that you have created in your wisdom to give us so much joy and confusion and violence. While everyone can believe in you in their own way, as Jesus said, and should probably pray in a closet, you do not need someone to tell you the way to the Lord, and if they try, they're probably the bad guy. We know that a bunch of these folks didn't listen, and they started these little buildings and set up shops and sold tickets to heaven. And I want to thank you that they're all chewing at each other's faces right now. We're enjoying the dogfight in all of its majesty that you are blessing us with. Oh Lord, help us as we forgive them for being dumb fucks. Oh Lord, help us as we try to remain humble, as we snicker and laugh at the glory of their wanton bullshittery. And if you see Gabriel, tell him that Muhammad still thinks he's a hot piece of ass. All right. That's a true story. Sorry. Sometimes you just need a moment. Take him to church.
Set up shop on the border as a group.
Exactly. Basically the Catholic border.
That navigates these massive caravans that come, 2,000 miles and arrive
Catholic
at the U.S.
Charities
border.
brought them over.
Catholic.
That's right. All the time, this whole time, it was pro-choice Catholic Charities trying to flood Latin American Catholics into the country so that they would vote to end abortion. And come on, guys. This is fucking magic. Do I deliver or do I deliver? And it gets better / worse.
Catholic Charities basically became like an unbelievably lucrative revenue operation, and funded, by the way, not just funded by U.S. taxpayers indirectly, funded by NGOs, funded by international organizations,
USAID,
all of this stuff. Yeah. And so this is the backdrop of all that. But let me put it this way: when I started my career, I was myself
That's adorable.
Like a young Charlie Kirk, right? I was speaking on campuses. My first book was called Illiberal Education.
Right.
And so I lived that life of 3 days.
Yeah, it was fucking magic.
Is 4 days a week going from...
Yeah, just scattered ass all over the place. A young The Mess D'Souza just nailing his way across the campuses like a young Jim Morrison.
One campus to the...
Dweeby, East Indian, in a golf shirt, but still.
together, often flying cross country. Of course, it was a different era. I never had to
Yeah.
worry. Don't think I genuinely worried about getting shot.
No, the biggest during that period of time, the worst thing you could come across at a college campus, I think, was Andy Dick. Sorry.
The most I thought,
but not really.
Some guy will rush the stage and be intercepted by some overweight campus policeman. You know, it's going to be okay. I'll live through it. But I've tried to be an iconoclast asking questions, but you have to ask questions in the right way.
Yes, absolutely. Usually with the question mark at the end.
And you have to do it seeking truth. You're not asking questions to poison the well.
That's right.
And so when you have a
yeah, you are.
Guy who's asking questions like this, all right, well, you know, I just wonder whether we might have been better to ally with, you know, Hitler in World War II against Stalin. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know.
Our grandfathers died fighting Hitler.
Right. And then, of course, you'll hear.
Yeah, but his didn't. Like, well, I mean, Tucker Carlson's dad was in the CIA, allegedly, but and I always say allegedly because I don't believe anybody. Some people may be in the CIA and don't know it, and some people think they're in the CIA and they aren't. Sure.
There's something like, you know, well, I'm not the only guy who's saying that. You know, Patton said that. No, Patton didn't say that. After the war, Patton said, having won the war and vanquished the Nazis, maybe we're going to have to deal with the Soviet Union now, and maybe we should march all our way to Moscow. That's a whole different thing. And so, but for young people who are amnesiac and don't know the nuances of all this, they go, oh.
They're not amnesiac. They never learned it in the first place. That's why young minds are so easy to poison. That's the point.
Well, Patton said it really. So I think that this kind of asking of questions is not, as it needs to be, a search for truth and genuine debate.
No.
Yeah, I'm starting to think this Tucker Carlson guy is full of shit, man.
What?
You said it. It's poisoning the well.
It's poisoning the well.
It is. And not the well mentioned in Borat, just for the record. Okay, let's jump to it. I think we're ready. It's relatively short, I think, compared to his other ones, so wish us luck. Hit that like, share the show, etc., etc., etc. I have decided recently that either Pete Hegseth or Walt Nauta should be called the Secretary of Depends. Do with that what you will.
Well, that was good timing, wasn't it? Huh? We had to get that right. We had to get that right.
We had to get that right. We talked about it all afternoon. Also, the right side of my face is sliding towards the fucking floor. Yeah.
But they always get it right. I was just given a display with a wonderful First Lady, the likes of which I think few people have ever seen before. We were a few...
You mean what all the guys on that deck see all the time?
...minutes away, and the display of strength was absolutely incredible. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Sorry, what, a bunch of husky men just came out and lifted her over their head or carried her around or whatever? Like...
Navy, thank you very much.
By the way, what he means is, I would like to, here, I'll show you. It's, he watched they broke the sound barrier right in front of him, and everybody was like, oh my God. He like stood there and like he didn't even flinch. Hold on, Trump, barrier, flyby, something like that. Yeah, so Posobiec says this. Breaking, a Navy F-18 breaks the sound barrier right in front of Trump, and he doesn't even flinch. None of them flinch, dummy. Plus, he's wearing a fucking tarp. Yeah, they're wearing fucking cones.
It didn't show the plume.
It didn't show the plume. Yeah, maybe because they triggered a sound effect because they couldn't time it exactly. Maybe they just did it for show. Also, is he wearing like a giant rubber adult diaper? Oh, and the reason he's saying, "Hey, I got that right," or whatever. The reason they were yelling USA was not because of Trump's, because of the
God
flyover.
bless the United States Navy. Well, that was good timing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a good time. We got that timing right, huh? You gotta think of the, huh? Hold on. So that's why they were doing that. Yeah, and of course, I'm fairly certain they did that to cover up for that because the mic was pretty loud.
And I want to thank our magnificent First Lady for that introduction. People love our First Lady. And let me say to all of the incredible sailors on this pier, it's great to be with the fleet. The fleet.
It says fleet. Is that what they call it? Fleet. Is it pronounced fleet? It's not fleet. The fleet. The fleet. The fleet. Wait 1 second. Like, I need to hear that again.
Here, it's great to be with the fleet. The fleet.
We call it a fleet.
And let's also give a very special thanks to the shipmates who put on that spectacular display of Navy dominance. And that's what it was. It was dominance. And
it was Nazi dominance. She's great. She's a up and coming pop singer. She's like the next Lady Gaga. Nazi dominance. Yeah, she's great. It's like this. She's like this whole Gen Z crossover Iggy Azalea rap thing that's all AI. It's the shit.
Bravo Zulu. You know what that is? Bravo Zulu. You know, a lot of people don't.
The letter B and the letter Z.
And it's a true honor to be here with the thousands of our nation's finest sailors at the largest naval facility in the entire world. It's the largest, and I would say more importantly, it's the best, okay? It's both the Norfolk Naval Base. Thank you very much. The largest, and it's the best.
Yeah, because that's what makes something the best, is the largest, which is why I have the worst penis ever. The largest is the best. Don't remind me.
We're gathered on this storied waterfront to celebrate 250 years of strength, tenacity, and unwavering courage.
Tenacity, not tenacity.
By the greatest fighting force even.
I think he got tennis titty once when he played. I've seen that footage of him playing tennis, and I think it's when you whack your own move with the handle of the racket, you get tennis titty.
And that's true. No matter where you go, no matter where you go, no matter.
There you are.
No matter what you even think about, there's nothing like the fighting force that we have.
No matter what you even think about. You know what? Free ball it. Don't let those guys behind you think you read every word that's in the teleprompter. Just go with it.
You go, no matter what you even think about, there's nothing like the fighting force that we have. Roam the seas, it's called the United States Navy, and there's nothing in the world like it. Nothing, not even close. You read stories, they don't have it. Let me tell you, we check it closely.
We check it closely. I have seen a bunch of things where they have a lot more ships than we do, but they're not better than us. I see the stuff, but I don't look at the things they give me. So, ignorance is bliss.
We check it closely.
We've seen it so many times, we check it.
Docked beside us today are a combined 150,000 tons of pure American naval supremacy and two colossal reasons why no one should.
And his name is Seaman Staines. Reporting for duty, sir.
Ever want to start a fight with the USA. They won't fight. We're putting out a lot of fights, so do you see that? We're going to be close to number 8. Number 8.
We're going to be close to number 8. Yeah. Didn't you have a deadline yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, it's yesterday and a little and change.
8. We don't want to send you into battle unless it's necessary, right? We're putting out a lot of fires. Maybe some of you will be angry. You'll say, what's he doing? We want to fight. You know what? If we can solve them the way I'm solving them, we solve 7. We have another one.
Jesus Christ. We want to be sent into hostile waters for an unclear mission away from family for months at a time. Yeah, that's how we feel. You get us.
That's taken 3,000 years, and we're pretty close, but I don't want to talk about it until it's done.
Okay, well then never mention it again.
But let's give a big round of applause to the men and women of the majestic USS Kearsarge.
Kearsarge. Why are these words so hard to say?
Thank you. And let's hear it for the sailors of the USS Harry S. Truman.
Yeah, let's hear it for Brother Harry, shall we? Maybe remember this standard? Remember when this was actually a fucking thing? I don't know that person very well. They're probably a Democrat. They just got me coffee. I don't really, I didn't know it. I barely talked to that person. I don't know. That's their fault. And if the system fails, it's because of their decision, not mine.
Those who call this carrier home live by a motto that captures the spirit of America's Navy. It's very simple. The words, give 'em hell. And we do give 'em hell.
We do give 'em hell. That's right. Now, when they thought that up, it was really give 'em hell was applied to foreign enemies who seek to destroy us. But we just decided to apply that to the citizenry. Why travel?
For 2.5 centuries, that is what every generation of American sailors have done. You've conquered raging oceans and braved ferocious storms to vanquish America's enemies on the high seas and distant shores. You've beaten mighty warships into twisted wrecks of steel. You've splintered vast armadas and sent the mangled pride of empire sinking into oblivion.
And that was just before breakfast.
You've surged the waters thick and danger, blood, brine, and through it all the United States.
Sorry, you surged the what?
Waters thick and danger, blood, oblivion. You've surged the waters thick and danger, blood, brine, and through it all.
Thick with danger. With kind of matters, I think, right? With was the word. You just kind of hick.
Surge the waters thick and danger, blood, brine.
Thick danger, blood and blood, thick danger.
You've surged the waters thick and danger, blood,
danger,
brine, and through it all the United States Navy has kept the stars and stripes soaring high and proud above those big, magnificent waves. You love doing it too. There's not
love the waves. You like water. There's a lot of it.
a thing in the world that you'd rather do, is there? Is there? No.
No. I don't understand it.
I like your life better than mine, I have to be honest with you.
Bullshit.
Sailing on those beautiful waters all the time, you're so lucky.
You're so lucky, especially when you get KP duty, and you get denied a promotion because you're sneaking weed onto the boat, and I envy you.
The American sailor never quits, never fails, and never, ever lets us down. They've never let us down. Thank you, fellas. Thank you.
Thank you, fellas. Yikes.
And we're honored to be joined today by service members representing every part of this great naval tradition. Our incredible surface warriors are the reason America's enemies tremble at the sight of a Navy ship haze gray or underway. The ensign U.S. carrier, cruiser, or destroyer breaks.
Sorry, how was that again?
The ensign U.S. carrier, cruiser, or
The
destroyer
ensign
breaks
US
across the horizon, every tyrant and adversary on the planet knows their choice is.
Adversary was a tough one. Did you notice that? Adversary had a rough ride. It should be pretty easy, but adversary.
Very simple. It's leave America in peace or be blown up in fire and fury never seen before.
And also clips of old truth sinkhole posts. Yes, the tweet doctrine.
All over the world, people know of the skill, nerve, swagger, and sheer attitude of the boldest and most daring pilots on the sea, the U.S. naval aviators, and I just got to witness it with Melania. They land screaming jets on pitching decks in the dark of night with no room for error. There's no room for error.
There's a little room for error. I mean, that's why the crews are there and stuff. You'd want to give them a little room for error. If there's no room for error, why would you want to make it that hard on them? I would fix that, apparently. That you think they deserve to be just like live on a knife's edge just doing regular order flight at sea? That's not right.
Greatest pilots in the world. And while Navy pilots rain down pain from above, the greatest adversaries fear the daring deeds of our silent service below. They prowl and strike from crushing depths, unseen, undetected, and unstoppable. They are our brave submariners. Where are the submariners here? And
You think?
they are brave.
They are brave. I wouldn't get in one of those things. Remember how I said I envy these guys? Not you.
The most lethal weapon in the world, I will tell you, nobody knows where it is and what it carries. There's nothing that carries weaponry like that. And we're 25 years ahead of any other country when it comes to submarines. Nobody's even close. Nobody can match us. No roll call of Navy warriors would be complete without recognizing some of the fiercest and most elite commandos in the history of war. They are the toughest, and there's nobody tougher. There's just nobody. That's what they tell me. There's nobody tougher.
That's what they tell me. I don't believe it or whatever, except me. I would interject about basically I'm a Navy SEAL. You know, if you really think about it, like I know more about how to kill a man with a toothpick envelope. You know, the little, like some people can kill you with a toothpick. Anybody can do that. But the paper that it comes in, God get you. I know how to do that. Any Navy SEAL can kill somebody with a toothpick, you know, but I can kill them with the paper it came in.
They're called the Navy SEALs. What do you think about the Navy SEAL? Where are the Navy SEALs? We're not going to mess with the Navy SEALs. They are great. Thank you very much. Incredible people. And of course, our enemies have learned to dread that special cast of warriors who have charged forward almost everywhere America has seized a stronghold or stormed a beachhead. They call themselves the Leathernecks, the Jarheads, the Devil Dogs, but we revere them as the United States Marines.
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
Incredible people.
Yeah, and I don't like talking about them because I feel like just by saying it, they're better than me, so.
Incredible people. With us today are some of those who have led these exceptional men and women. They've led them like
Nobody's ever led them before?
else. And I'll tell you, a person I'm very, very proud of. He has stepped up and he's hitting home run after home run. They love him. I want to introduce again a man who's just exceptional. I'm so happy with this choice. Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Thank you, Pete.
Yes, Secretary of Depends.
Doing a job.
He is doing a job. I don't know what it is.
I said, Pete, what do you think? You know, we used to call it Secretary of War, the Department of War, the War Department. Now we call it Defense. And I don't know, would you ever want to, you know, we won World War I. We won World War II. We won everything in between. We won everything before. And all of a sudden they decide to change the name. They went woke then too, you know. Woke is a long-term Word.
It's a long-term word.
I said, what do you think about changing it to the Department of War? He said, I love it, sir. And that was about the end of it, right?
Yeah, cool story, bro. Where are the Epstein files?
That was the end of it.
Right. Now can we get back to releasing the Epstein files?
Thank you, Pete. Great job. He's a great leader.
Great job with the labeling. That, you know what, you're doing a fantastic job agreeing with me about dipshittery.
Also, Secretary of the Navy, a very, very successful man. He gave it all up to do this, and we're designing more ships. We have more ships being built shortly. We're going to have more great ships being built than we've ever had being built in the history of the Navy. John Phelan. John, thank you. Great job, John. He made a lot of money in the private sector, and I said, you want to do this, John? We need a lot of ships, and we need them fast. And he said, I want to do it. He gave up a lot. Gave up.
No, he didn't. He's going to have a huge, money bath when he's done.
Everything to do this. But he's loving it, and he's doing a fantastic job. Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Darrell Caudle. Admiral, thank you. Great job. Rear Admiral Gavin Duff.
Gavin's apparently the Rear Admiral is very popular.
And along with so many
in the Navy.
Different people here, they could introduce them all day long. I don't want to do that because we got to get to business, talking a little bit about war and peace. But along with your great officers here at Norfolk Naval Base, Vice Admirals John Gumbleton. John, thank you. Thank you, John. Great. Young guy.
Well, then he was expecting him to be old because of the name Gumbleton.
Okay.
Expect him to have a beard and a pointy hat.
Great. Doug Perry and Rob Goucher. Thank you. And a very special thanks to a man who just got a 93% approval. He runs the Veterans Everything, I call it. He's Veterans Everything. The VA Secretary Doug Collins. He's doing great. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, it's amazing how much the appeal of the VA has gone up since the VA Choice Act of 2014 signed into law by Barack Obama.
Great job. Ambassador Monica Crowley. Monica, thank you very much. A man that everybody loves. He was my doctor in the White House, and I got to know him very well.
Uh-oh. Ronnie Jackson's touring with him now. That's not good. If Ronnie Jackson is hanging around there bringing him to shit.
He was also the doctor for Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And he was the doctor for a man named Bush. And at a press conference, they asked him, who's in the best shape? Who's the healthiest? Who's the strongest? Who's the best physical specimen of the three? He said, that's easy. President Donald Trump. And I said, I love this guy.
He's as full of shit as I am.
I said, I love him.
Yes, he's willing to lie right off the jump. He doesn't need any prompting. He will lie without prodding or blackmail. Well, I mean, I don't know. Allegedly, there's no blackmail. I assume, of course, there could be.
Ronnie Jackson, he's now a congressman, as you know. So he was an admiral. He was the chief doctor. He was the whole boss of doctors. And
he was the whole boss of doctors. It's a big job.
And now he's a very, very successful congressman from Texas. Thank you, Ronnie, very much. And I appreciate those words. I'll never forget them. Jen.
Yeah, you will one day, actually, because your brain will fail. Because a history of dementia in your family, and so your brain will eventually break down, and you will forget that Ronnie Jackson said that. You might remember the words, but you won't remember who said them. You'll be convinced that, Richard Nixon whispered them to Roy Cohn in front of you while you were all in a hot tub.
Kagans, Jen, thank you. John McGuire, Rob Whitman, Dan Crenshaw, Derek Van Orden. These are unbelievable, talented people that are with me, and they fight. Thank you very much, fellas. Thank you. Thank you very much, darling. These are great Congress. I say Congress warriors. That's what you have to be today to be in Congress if you're going to make it. I also
No, you really don't. The ones that consider themselves warriors like MTG and the like just stir up a bunch of trouble and never get a bill passed. And they end up having to vote with the majority anyways. It's a bunch of belligerent bullshit.
want to recognize all of the newly pinned chief petty officers. You got a lot of them here today. I had to approve it.
Oh, well, I guess they owe you something.
Who recently earned their anchors and now bear their venerable title, Navy Chief. Navy Chief. Thank you, Navy Chiefs. Let's also express the gratitude of our entire nation to every Navy veteran who has come out to honor this big anniversary. We see so many veterans. I saw backstage, I was shaking hands with veterans all over the place. And they are great. And they're respected and they're loved. Thank you very much. Stand up if you'd like. Thank you very much. They're really loved. I saw it backstage.
They're really loved. Yeah, because they served. Because they entered into a field where they potentially could give their life for their country actively, not this kind of fantastical idea that one of their own supporters might snap and try to shoot their teleprompter one day.
I saw so many veterans, and my hand will never be the same.
And now they've got, all of them have a weird, like, Cheeto-colored makeup all over their thumb.
Thank you very much. A great honor. And a very special thanks to the countless Navy families who support our sailors with such love and devotion.
Oh, my God.
None of what are. And think of this. Without them, you wouldn't be celebrating today. Many of you would not be doing very well. Male or female, you wouldn't be doing very well. So we want to thank our family members, right? All of them.
Yeah, it's a new concept for me, caring about family. You know, it happens when you start getting closer to the reading of the will.
Parents, husbands, wives, thank you. Thank you very much. From the American Revolution until today,
Oh my God! You can always tell when he just gets out of this part and goes into the Wikipedia stretch.
story of the U.S. Navy is a tale of loyalty, sacrifice, and commitment stretching back 250 years. So we're celebrating 250. I almost thought I wouldn't get to do that because
You'd be in jail?
president in 2016, and then they rigged the election on me. And then we caught him, didn't we? We caught him, but, you know, we had to run it again. I ran it again, and I got 250, and I got the World Cup, and I got the Olympics. Can you believe all of it? In my first term, I was the one that got the Olympics. I was the one that got the World Cup. And I said, you know, the sad part is, maybe I'll go, maybe I won't even be invited because it won't be during my term. I would say, if we're a Democrat, I might not be invited. They don't love me exactly too much. And then when this happened, now all of a sudden they got all three. But you know what's the most important? 250 years is the most important, above World Cup, above Olympic. But we got them all.
You mean the part that happens because of time and has nothing to do with anything is more important than supposedly securing these things, which would have been secured anyways? It was like our turn on the roulette wheel.
And on June 14th,
His 80th birthday.
next year, we're going to have a big UFC fight at the White House, right at the White House, on the grounds of the White House. When the Continental Congress formed a fleet of just 2 ships in October 1775, many scoffed at their chances against the most powerful empire on earth. That was the most powerful ever, relatively speaking.
Who? We had 2 ships. We had nothing other but...
Yeah, but 2 ships passing in the night. Who is the other side of this?
We had great heart.
We did. We had great heart, 2 ships, and who were we fighting?
They didn't know the audacity and the grit of the American sailor. They had no idea. The war for independence gave us some of the greatest American heroes of all time, including the father of the U.S. Navy, Captain John Paul Jones. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
When a far stronger British ship demanded his surrender, Jones yelled back that timeless battle cry right now: "I have not yet begun to fight." Don't ask me for that. Think of that. I could just...
Shut up.
You don't get to put addendums on a historic quote. I have not yet begun to fight. Shut the fuck up. Let the crowd cheer because it ain't about you, you tit. It's like he does this with his own fucking catchphrase. Like, I tell him those big words, where they get out of here. You're fired. Get out of here. You're not fired. You're fired. You got to get out. This not you're not welcome anymore. Like, shut the fuck up. Say the line and shut the fuck up. It's so stupid.
I have not yet begun to fight. Don't ask me for that. Think of that. I could just see it. He's a wise guy. He's asking. I haven't even begun to fight, and he knocked the hell out of him.
I can imagine it. Like a guy just saying it. Like he's a wise guy. This fucking guy. So all of a sudden he's saying, I haven't begun to fight. Like, lay down, you pussy. You know, and it's like he's standing there. What an asshole.
In the War of 1812, Captain James Lawrence shouted his final words to his crew as blood streamed down from his mortal wounds. Fight her till she sinks, he yelled. Don't give up the ship. Don't give up the ship. These are all incredible.
Yeah, words in the order that they're said. They're incredible.
Very, very famous statements now.
Yes, they are. This is true. They are very famous statements that you are mangling the fuck out of.
Years and time. Very
also years and time.
famous. Don't give up the...
Out of years and time.
Don't give up the ship. Don't give up the ship. These are all incredible. Very, very famous statements now with years and time. Very famous. Don't give up.
With years of time, the days have passed. These are the days of our lives.
Up the ship. I say it all the time. You're a little behind.
You know he does not. You do not. Like I say that, I'm basically that guy. I'm basically that guy. Oh my fucking God.
I said, don't give up the ship, and we win. We all know how to win.
No. No. There's no way he uses that phrase in normal conversation. It's just one of my favorite phrases. Get the fuck out of here. I say it all the time to people. Shut the fuck up.
And today, that eternal creed is written into the hearts of every sailor in the fleet. America's Navy never, ever gives up the ship, right? We never give it up. Another titan of the early Navy was the great Commodore Arthur Sinclair. He defeated the French in the Caribbean battle. And then he went to work on the Barbary pirates off the coast of Tripoli and raided British forces when they were so powerful in 1812, the War of 1812.
Okay, it wasn't just that year, just for the shits and giggles. He was doing it because it was the War of 1812. He didn't just attack him in 1812 because fuck it, it's January. It's cold. He's aggravated. There's some Brits over there. Let's sail against him. There's actually a war going on. It's called the War of 1812, you say? No kidding.
He raided them. He was knocking them out one by one.
No, I think he was knocking them out in groups. That's kind of the way a battle goes. That's what cannons are for. They don't shoot needles, dickhead.
Everyone said, where does this guy come from?
I'm going to guess the water. Where does this guy come? Who's this fucker?
And we're all descendants when you think of it.
No, you're not. Your family came after. Shut the fuck up. You're newer immigrants.
Commodore Sinclair went on to become the commanding officer here at the Naval Station Norfolk, right
Jesus.
here, where he founded a nautical school for officers that eventually became the one and only U.S. Naval Academy.
That's the name of the thing. Notice how he gives that like breadth and says that out loud. But he did, I guess because he wants a wing named after him one day is probably it. But he can't say the do not give up the ship or I've not yet begun to fight like with proper due respect to the phrases. But a building, they could name a room after me. Also, droopy face. Just saying.
And I'm going to be at your Army-Navy game this year. Who am I going to root for, huh? You may be surprised. It's going to be great. We're going to be here. Generations.
What the fuck are you talking about? What do you mean you might be surprised? I'm probably going to root for the other guys. How about you're the president? You don't have to pick a winner. You just get to appreciate the skill and talent on both teams. Asshole.
Of the Commodore's descendants have forged their own towering legacies of service in the Navy and
Just like me. I'm here. I have a towering legacy. You're all looking at my stupid fucking hat. That's just as good as almost dying on the deck of an aircraft carrier, fighting
joined
Barbary pirates.
today by his fifth great-grandson, Commander Link Mustin. Where is Mustin? Commander Mustin, where are you? He's here. Wow, look at this handsome guy. That's good genetics, right? He's got good genes.
Yeah, he's still alive.
Thank you very much. Commander, thank you for continuing a family tradition that has endured for 2.5 centuries. Can you believe that, huh?
Yeah, they have every one of those family members has listened to some asshole populist blather about nonsense. They've had to serve under a draft dodger.
I wonder if they were as good looking as you. I doubt it. You just got better with age, right? Congratulations. Is that young man your boy? Wow. He beats you. They beat you.
Wait, his son beats him? That's terrible. We can't see the bruises, obviously, but
that's what we want.
That's what we want him to do, is to beat us. We want our boys to beat us. Oh, shit. Hold on. I feel like they got to have it that way, yeah.
I had to beat off. See, over the generations, our Navy sailors raised Old Glory above the streets of Veracruz, sent the Spanish fleet to its watery grave in Manila Bay, and buried the vicious German wolfbacks at the bottom of the sea. Those were vicious, vicious wolfbacks. They were.
The wolfbacks were vicious. They're vicious being wolfbacky.
Brutal.
Really? Who were they? You brought them up. I mean, just who are the wolfbacks? The wolfbacks, as you said. Who are those people?
Were hitting us hard, and then we came up with the answer, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we got them. We got the guys they were doing something, and then we were like, we're gonna do something, and we did it, didn't we? You and me, guys, right?
Came up with the way to knock them out, and we were knocking them out so fast they didn't know what to do. It was really the end once we discovered the secret through some brilliant minds. A lot of them are descendants of the people here right now.
Sorry, the people who fought the Germans in World War II, who fought the wolf packs. Their grandparents are sitting in the audience right here, and they fought the descendants of the people sitting in front of you fought those people. Or the other way around.
In every era of conflict, the Navy has never failed to hunt, kill, and to win. Never failed. Never failed.
No, you never failed. You don't fail. But anyways.
In World War II, Admiral Bull Halsey's motto, hit hard, hit fast, hit often. And that is exactly what the sailors do. One of those warriors was Submarine Commander Eugene Fluke.
You could see his mouth rejecting the words. It's just like the idea of saying the name before it even starts.
One of those warriors was Submarine Commander Eugene Fluke.
Fluke.
Who sent more Japanese tonnage to the ocean floor than any other man in history.
It was just a fluke.
I like to talk about it too much now. You know, they've been a nice ally, but anybody from Japan here right now?
What an asshole. I'm not offending any Japanese, am I, right now, but you guys had it coming back then.
We'll get off the subject immediately.
Time's passed, yeah.
But think of it. Sent more tonnage to this bottom of the sea, one after one.
One after one. That's how I say it. That's how most people say it. Most people say one after another. You tend to say one after the other, which is very fancy Horton speak. But one after one, sure. I mean, technically it's true, so proceed.
Aboard the famed USS Barb, he destroyed
Barb.
a Japanese tanker and a carrier with a single salvo to his men's chagrin. They were very concerned about it. They didn't think we could do that, and
They were chagrined, to his men's chagrin.
he just knocked them out one after another.
Yeah, one after one.
And again, torpedoes were flying, but
No, they don't actually fly. I gotta say, like of all the missiles that exist, the ones that don't fly, torpedoes. Just saying. Jesus Christ. I have to check in with the chat room. You guys, what the shit? Flying torpedoes? Barb, Gorka. Love the chat. Oh my God. Much to the chagrinder. They didn't think they could do that, fighting a war and all that stuff.
his greatest feat came when he spotted 30 enemy ships at port off the coast of China. You know that, a very famous story. Commander flew.
Oh yeah, it's a great. Yeah, tell us the story. Oh, it's a famous story. We're almost bored. We know it so well, but you tell it so well, please.
Ordered his men to their battle station, slipped into the harbor, and sank 6 vessels at one time before taking off into the beautiful, wild blue ocean.
With the water that's around, tying it to where we are today. Is the water, you guys like it so much I can't swim.
He received 4 Navy Crosses, the Legion of Merit, and the Congressional Medal of Honor. That was a brave guy. In recognition of the incredible achievements of the USS Barb under his command, this December we will lay the keel of a brand new Virginia-class submarine bearing that same legendary name, and his grandson, Tom, will be there to pick it up. Tom is with us today, and I want to thank you for keeping that great legacy around. Where is Tom? Oh, look, stand up, Tom.
The USS Fluky.
Great. Good, Tom. Thank you.
Good job, Tom, for being alive.
That's good. That's good genes, too.
Jesus Christ. We could start a whole German army if we wanted
Tom,
to.
isn't it? That's good stuff. Thank you.
It is good stuff. I've tasted it myself. I had to pull off his pipe below deck. When I was shaking hands with people, I was like, this is a good jeans.
Thank you very much, both, for being here.
Jesus Christ. That's why he has to wear a hat, because there's still goo in his hair.
From Midway to the Coral Sea to...
I know. You don't think I'm going to take this asshole seriously, do you?
Leyte Gulf, American sailors fought the most...
Oh, look at that. We got our first Adderall salivation.
Way to the Coral Sea to Leyte Gulf, American sailors fought...
American sailors.
The most epic naval battles in history. And at Normandy, the Navy led the greatest armada ever formed to deliver the single largest invasion force the world has ever seen. One of the sailors who did it was Felix Maurizio, who enlisted at age 18 and trained right here in Norfolk, chained right here.
Right here, chained right here. He was chained?
On D-Day, June 6th, 1944, Felix manned and...
Please somebody take this and make a History Channel voiceover out of it with just the dumbest fucking drunk history visuals.
Amphibious landing craft that did 6 harrowing runs to Omaha Beach. You all know about it. These are all famous fights.
They are. Yeah, but, some people might not know much about them. Tell them about the details, the stuff you know. I mean, yeah, they're all famous, so obviously everybody knows. But I'm sure there are parts of them that, you feel particularly close to, details that you're attached to. Maybe family members that serve? No? Oh, okay.
He delivered hundreds of American troops into the battle, including his brother Sal. Felix lost so many of his friends that day, but he kept fighting. He kept going out there, getting more soldiers, getting more of everything.
He did. He's just getting. What was it? A buffet?
He just kept coming. They couldn't stop him.
I had to beat off.
He just kept coming. They couldn't stop
2,000
him.
meals coming soon.
Getting more of everything. He just kept coming. They couldn't stop him.
Sorry. Oh, this poor man's legacy being fucking brutalized by this blather.
Went on to serve in the Pacific under the great Admiral Nimitz.
After a nap, I hope.
In February 1945, he spent his 21st birthday landing Marines on the blood-soaked sands of Iwo Jima, one of the bloodiest, toughest battles ever.
Yeah, because the blood-soaked beaches, because you'd said blood-soaked in the thing. That's what makes it the bloodiest ever. I also got to tell you, I don't think so. I mean, as bloody as the World War II was and stuff, I'm gonna have to go with like the Byzantine and the Ottoman expansion, the Crusades, the Mongol expansion, the Tartar and Roman fights. I mean, it's all blade fighting, and Jesus Christ, if you had seen one battle scene from Braveheart, it's all lacerations.
Historic battle. 6 months later, he was aboard the USS Talladega in Tokyo Bay. When Japan surrendered, they said, I don't think we want Felix hitting us anymore.
This is after they'd been nuked.
And he retired as a chief petty officer in 1966. This year, Felix celebrated his 100th birthday, and he is here this afternoon as a living testament to the glory of the United States Navy. Wow.
I do have to say, I find it strange that he would need to have the plexiglass up at this speech. The idea that you couldn't secure, they're in the on this deck, they've got cover. There's unless they think it's going to be like a scene out of the Warriors and somebody's going to smuggle a handgun in. But like in this particular instance, you would think he wouldn't need that.
That's great.
That's great.
Looks good. Felix, you look better than I do. I'm not happy about this, Felix. Nah, they don't want to mess around with him. And Felix, we salute you. Thank you very much. Incredible. 100 years. In Korea, American sailors and Marines carried out the daring landing in Incheon and flew more than 250,000 combat sorties against the enemy. It was an amazing...
Oh, a sortie. Sounds delicious. Was it a vanilla sortie, or perhaps a Madagascar orange sortie? That's fabulous.
Amazing effort. In Vietnam, the Navy unleashed Operation Rolling Thunder and deployed a...
Yes, which you are unleashing right now. I'm going to guess that one of the reasons why you have that plexiglass up, this is probably one behind you too, is to protect our sailors from chemical weapons expression. That's my guess. I'm sticking with that.
Brand new unit, the Navy SEALs, to tear up Mekong River Delta.
Mekong River Delta.
Problem with Vietnam, we stopped fighting to win. We would have won easy. We would have won Afghanistan easy. Would have won every war easy. But we got politically correct. Let's take it easy. We're not politically correct anymore, just so you understand. We win. Now we win. We don't want to be politically correct.
By the way, he's basically, in his mind, doing Rambo 2. Do we get to win this time? Speech.
And history will never forget that it was the SEALs who stormed the compound at Osama bin Laden and put a bullet in his head. Remember that?
Yeah, remember that. Remember bullet in the head. Just let me put that image in your...
Please remember, I wrote about Osama bin Laden exactly 1 year ago, 1 year before he blew up the World Trade Center. And I said, you got to watch Osama bin Laden. And the fake news would never let me get away with that statement unless it was true. But I said 1 year before to Pete Hegseth, I said 1 year before, where's Pete? In the book, I wrote, whatever the hell the title, I can't tell you.
So I gotta, is that what I gotta go look up? Trump books. List of books by Donald Trump. Let's see. Think Big, Trump, Art of the Deal. Donald Trump, Defiant. I want him to do it chronologically, asshole. Trump was said in the book. The Trump Library. What books did Trump? Let's see. What is it? Was it Art of the Comeback? Probably was the timing on it. Trump, the Art of the Comeback. That was in '97. Reveals that he's a germ freak. Explains why he divorced Ivana Trump and Marla Maples. Now he says he goes criticizes journalist Tina Brown, saying she reneged on a promise to write nicely about him at Vanity Fair. Let's see. Books offers tips for success. Play golf. That's number one. Stay focused. Be paranoid. Be passionate. Go against the tide. Go with your gut. Work with people you like. Be lucky. Get even. Always have a prenuptial agreement. That's the actual tips. The books, he offers 10 tips for success. And then, let's see, 97, did he have another book, like, later than that? I think that was the, let's see, Crippled America. There you go. The Art of the Deal was the America We Deserve. It's January 2000. Maybe that's the one. It talks about illegals. He proposed a 14% wealth tax on individuals with trust value more than $10 million. The book supports a universal health care system. And let's see. During his 2016 presidential campaign, Trump frequently cited the book as proof that he predicted the September 11th attacks. Contrary to claims in the book, only makes a single reference to bin Laden. He goes, one day we're told about a shadowy figure with no fixed address named Osama bin Laden, his public enemy number one, and U.S. jet fighters lay waste to his camp in Afghanistan. He escapes back under some rock, and a few news cycles later, it's on a new enemy and a new crisis. That was what somebody else wrote in that book, Trump's bin Laden prediction. That's because they were literally talking about him at that point. The Clinton administration was. The book doesn't warn we better be careful with this guy named Osama bin Laden. It doesn't say the U.S. better take him out. Trump's reference to bin Laden to somebody nobody really knew at the time is wrong too, because people were talking about him. That's why he brought him up, obviously. There's a relation to his ties to the disagree to the Manhattan Institute regarding if Trump's statements were even factual. The U.S. government had been aware of bin Laden for decades, and by the mid-'90s, he was the CIA's most wanted terrorist with several well-known attacks. They were actively pursuing him at the time. Yada, yada, yada. We know this.
But I can tell you there's a page in there devoted to the fact that I saw somebody named Osama bin Laden, and I didn't like it, and you got to take care of him. They didn't do it. A year later, he blew up the World Trade Center, so...
Now, yeah, they just, if they'd only listened to his book that he'd written a couple years beforehand, we'd have universal health care, too.
We got to take a little credit because nobody else is going to give it to me. You know the old story? They don't give you credit, just take it yourself. And it was the U.S.
Yeah, no, that's called stolen valor.
Navy that dumped his wretched corpse off the decks of the Carl Vinson to sink into the dark abyss. The Navy's central role in the defense of our liberty continues to this day. Just a few months ago, the Ohio-class guided missile submarine played an indispensable part in one of the most spectacular military feats the world has ever seen, the obliteration of Iran's nuclear sites
Semi-obliteration.
in Operation Midnight Hammer. How did that work out? Pretty good, right?
Pretty good, right? Nope. The peace president.
And we shot 30 Tomahawks, you know that. On top of, after the B-2, how about that? The B-2s, what they did, those beautiful flying wings, what they did, they hit every single target they hit. And just in case, we shot 30 Tomahawks out of a submarine, every one of them hit too. So I would say...
Yeah, I mean, they're laser and satellite guided. I would assume they would hit what they were shooting at. I mean, it's a little bit like horseshoes and hand grenades, you know, close enough works.
And was not particularly thrilled. They were going to have a nuclear weapon within a month.
Now it's going to take them 6 months.
And now they can start the operation all over again, but I hope they don't, because we'll have to take care of that too if they do. I let them know that you want to do that, it's fine, but we're going to take care of that, and we're not going to wait so long. It should have been done long before I came along. You know that I had the pilots of the B-2s in my office, the famous Oval Office. I had them in the
famous Oval Office.
The B-2s, they came in.
That's what I call them, the B-2s. Yeah, the B-52s came in there as well. Love Shack, baby!
White House, and we talked about it. They said, you know, sir, for 22 years, our predecessors and us trained for that hit. For 22 years, they were training to take out the nuclear potential of Iran. He said, but it was only when you came along that we did it. And they were so happy that they did it. But they've been training for that hit for 22 years, but no president wanted to do it.
Right, for a lot of good reasons.
They would have had a nuclear weapon within a month.
You do realize we have FIFA and the Olympics coming up, and Iran with a renewed grudge and their ties to international terror might make that a little difficult, just thinking ahead. Unless you just think they're going to retire.
Probably within a month or shortly thereafter, and speaking to them would have been much more difficult. In recent weeks, the Navy has supported our mission to blow the cartel terrorists the hell out of the water. You see
that camera going across because they're shooting?
Supported our mission to blow...
This is all done for, like, campaign footage and like, propaganda.
Cartel terrorists the hell out of the water. You see that?
No, you don't. I haven't actually seen that. I've seen a bunch of boats blow up from aerial view, but no evidence whatsoever that they were cartel members, that they were carrying drugs. All I see is a fast-moving speedboat that just blows up. Don't hear the warnings. Don't tell anybody, you don't see anybody chasing them or telling them to slow down or stop. There's no blockade. They're not, they didn't attack anybody. There's no footage of them opening fire on an American ship or ramming into somebody. There's just a boat moving fast on the water and boom.
And there are no boats in the water anymore. You can't find any. We're having a hard time finding them. But, it's a...
Yeah, because you will not distinguish between civilian craft and cartel craft and military craft. So what are they going to do? Like, why would they? I'm surprised anybody's fucking swimming there.
A pretty tough thing we've been doing, but you have to think of it this way. Every one of those boats...
There you go. Yeah, this is every drug dealer kills 500 people. Therefore, we should be able to shoot drug dealers on sight in the United States. Like extrajudicial capital punishment because of the body count. That's the argument.
Is responsible for the death of 25,000 American people and the destruction of families. So when you think of it that way, what we're doing is actually an act of kindness.
Yeah, that's what it is. And the evangelicals can translate that for all of us.
But we did another one last night. Now we just can't find any. It's the old story. We're so good at it that there are no boats. In fact, even fishing boats, nobody wants to go into the water anymore. Sorry to tell you that. But it's,
What do you mean, sorry to tell who that?
We're stopping drugs coming into America, if that's okay. We're stopping drugs at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
No, you're not. The availability and the price of drugs has not gone down in the United States anywhere. Fentanyl is still as readily available as it was before the border was completely closed and 0 people crossed it. Explain that.
Last year, we lost, I believe, 300,000 people. And that's not talking about the destruction to
Gibberish.
families. Every one of us knows families that have been destroyed because the son, daughter, even mothers and fathers are destroyed by the fentanyl pouring in and drugs pouring in. Well, they're not coming in by sea anymore, so now we'll have to start looking about the land because they'll be forced to go by land. And let me tell you right now, that's not going to work out well for them either. And it was the Truman carrier strike group that unleashed American fury on the Houthi terrorists in the Red Sea. And as you know, they settled. But they settled because they made the statement to us, we've never been hit like that ever before. And earlier this year...
No, they didn't. Israel kept hitting them after we hit them as well. They don't have that much stuff. It's still a ragtag group controlling that area. They control that area largely with small arms. They have some missile systems that can reach the sea, but it doesn't take much to knock them all out. It just leaves everybody still in power. Hi.
Did you have an Amazon food delivery?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how long it's been out there, so.
It should have just arrived moments ago. So.
No, there was other stuff though, but.
Okay. My food arrived, apparently. I had an Amazon food delivery.
Conducted the single largest airstrike from an American carrier in history. That was the largest ever. I want to express my personal thanks to every single sailor who contributed to these phenomenal victories. We only know victory. We're only going to know victory.
Yeah. Yeah, you can guarantee it.
We don't want to know the other word. We want to know victory. We're going to have great...
What is the other word? Victory to the spoils? No, victory. I don't know. I'm not even sure I know. I bothered to learn that word because it never shows up in my life.
Victories in the years to come. Well, at least for almost 3.5 years, we're going to have great victories. I want to thank a group of women from North Carolina. Look at these great. Will you stand up, please? These beautiful women have followed me.
Oh, God. Hold on one second. I'm going to check something, and then I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Just to make sure I can handle my... hold on, I've got... here we go. One moment, please. I'm back. Hi, how are you? Just checking on my food delivery. Summer's putting it away, and I had some groceries delivered, and I usually have them delivered at ass in the morning, but I didn't want to wake her up because she went to the gym extra hard, and I was like, probably doesn't want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and listen to me on, dealing with bags as they can be relatively noisy. And so, so I sent it in the afternoon, and it came a little late into the show. So this just happens. It's what happens. Hi, I'm glad to be back. It's good. Hit the like, share the show, etc., etc. We continue the ridiculousness of the fact that Pete Hegseth, by the way, I'd like to point out, was 20 years old and in college when Trump would have written his book in 2000 before 9/11. And they didn't know each other.
This is number 151. You could call a rally. This is sort of a rally. Let's face it. This is a rally.
It's not a rally, asshole.
This is a speech of love. We all love our country. But that group is from North Carolina. They're up to about 151 visits. They have a whole group of them. I never see their husbands. I don't know what's
We've heard this story a bunch of times. It's the same.
going on with their husbands.
So, the Real Housewives of Trump World. It's a show that'll be a breakout hit, I'm sure.
I assume.
On Clean Flicks.
Do they still love you, the husbands? Yes, good. But I want to thank you. 151, they've been following me since 2016, and you look even better now than you did then. But I want to thank you very much. It's a really group. They love our country. They like Trump, but you know what they really do? They love our country. And we have the right
Why are you giving them more attention than you gave a 100-year-old veteran, you fucking asshole?
Policy, right? We have policy. We don't want crime. We don't want men playing in women's sports. We don't want transgender for everybody.
That's transhumanism, just so you know. That's what he thinks it is.
We don't want to have open borders where millions of people come into our country from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions and insane asylums.
Insane asylums.
Drug dealers, murderers, 11,000.
Roofers, fruit pickers, hospitality workers, nurses, hospice care workers, cooks, sous chefs, janitors, like florists. Yeah, you don't want any. Like, it's terrifying.
788 murderers were allowed to come into our country. A lot of them are gone.
Are they? Do you have proof they were here at all?
The way Washington, D.C. is a safe place right now. It went from one of the most dangerous cities in our country. Can you believe that? To probably the safest, among the safest in our country. Nobody's.
Well, it's no Bakersfield, thank God.
Being hit anymore.
Nobody's being hit. There's no hitting. Okay, I didn't realize. So you've outlawed domestic violence, unlike your buddy Vladimir Putin, who legalized it.
It's very safe, and I want to thank you. A lot of the people here have helped. A lot of the people in the audience are people that have straightened them out. It took 12 days. Think of that. Now we're in Memphis. We're doing the same thing in Memphis, and we're going to Chicago. You know, we have a governor that thinks it's wonderful when 50 people in a short period of time were murdered in Chicago. Over 200 people were hit. And so we send in the National Guard.
The National Guard. I think when he says hit, he means with bullets, like shot.
You know what? We send in whatever necessary.
Yeah, whatever. Black Hawk helicopters, reclaimed UFO technology from Roswell, napalm.
But okay, they don't want crime in their cities.
Right, and they're willing to allow constitutional violations and criminality from the president to get rid of crime. We don't want crime in our cities. We want crime on our cities.
And we're doing it, and we're doing it well. We're doing it like nobody's ever done it before.
Yes, extrajudicially and illegally and in as un-American a way as possible.
So I just want to tell you, you're very...
I mean, that's not true, actually. I think, again, Kent State kind of has you beat, at least for now.
Close to D.C., the restaurants are thriving. The restaurants are dying. They were closing.
The restaurants are driving? Sorry. They were what?
To D.C., the restaurants are thriving. The restaurants are dying.
The restaurants were dying.
They were closing one after another. Now
it's hard to keep a restaurant open.
They're thriving. They're opening up beautiful new restaurants. Washington, D.C. is safe. And I even went there and had dinner the other night.
Yes, and your experience as president of the United States from a security standpoint is exactly like the average citizen.
And I stood right smack in the middle of the street.
No, you didn't.
Secret Service was thrilled, and I gave a news conference.
No, you didn't.
A safe place now, Washington, D.C. It's always going to be. Our nation's capital is always going to be safe. We're never going to let that happen again. What happened there? One of the most beautiful places. We're doing a big beautification program.
Yes, the National Guard is walking around picking up trash. That's what it means.
Very little, very short. But we're doing a beautification program to go along with the security and safety. We're getting rid of the graffiti, the potholes, the broken medians between roads.
Oh, those medians. They drive me crazy. Like, thank you for finally bringing up the fucking medians.
We're doing
They're like the plastic ones, and then there's paper all over the ground. Then you're driving over paper, and then your car slips because it's, if you're fancy, you drive a leather-soled car.
Real job, and you'd be proud of it. I think everybody here is proud of it, frankly. That's our nation's capital, and that has to be clean, beautiful, and safe. The U.S. Navy always...
He's not. I don't know why he's not getting a big USA thing. It might have been the planes that flew over.
Stands for America. As your commander in chief, I will always stand for you. I promise you that. You know that. That's why you voted.
You know, that's why you like me. That's why you did it. You know, you're supposed to be apolitical, but you voted for me.
For me in numbers that nobody's ever seen before. And I want you to know that despite the current Democrat-induced shutdown, we will get our service members every last penny. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. And this is he's starting to fade. He's gonna wrap it up.
Do not worry about it. It's all coming. It's coming. And
It's coming. It's gonna happen. Ah.
And more because I'm supporting the across-the-board pay raises for every sailor and service member of the United States Armed Forces. But we
You mean the one that's in the defense authorization bill every time?
have to take care of this little gnat that's on our shoulder called the Democrats. They want to give all of our money to illegal aliens that pour into the country. And, you know, I have a bigger heart than they do. But the problem is when you do that, they come in by the millions. Everybody wants that, so you can't do it.
That's why you can't incentivize these people. You got to let a bunch of them who are here, especially the children, starve, put that on camera, and that'll scare the other ones off. So if it was the old days, we could just cut their heads off and put them on pikes, and then people who approach would see the heads of men, women, and children on poles, and they'd go, oh, fuck that. But legally, I don't know, there's some issue with the UN or something, and you can't do that anymore. So we got to do the next best thing, which is video of kids with their hands zip tied.
But I've also pledged the largest ever investment in our military's history. We're spending over $1 trillion. We've never had anything like that before. $1 trillion on our military, and that includes, along with your Secretary of the Navy and Pete Hegseth, we're going to be building lots of ships and doing a lot of things that you haven't seen happen for 35 years. We'll soon revitalize our once great shipyards with hundreds of billions of dollars in new investments and people coming from all around the world.
Yeah, big government jobs, big government. So that's jargon for big government, just giant government. But since it's, you know, weapons of war and that kind of stuff, it's okay to take taxpayer dollars to pay for an expansion of the military that we don't necessarily need, and that you could actually spend that money on service people. You could raise their pay. You know, you could almost double the enlisted person's, you know, base pay instead of just building ships we don't need in a modern era, and focus more on drones and high-tech fighting and Jewish space lasers, whatever the next tech is. And, you know, instead of building a fucking Golden Dome that's really just the anti-ballistic missile systems of Ronald Reagan with a fucking nameplate on it and some gold leafing. Yeah, you could actually dedicate more of that money to sailors and not actually go into debt anymore. You could keep the cost down, but flooding money into it, that's completely okay. These are government jobs with a complete government substructure, right? There's no private industry to it at all. And yet, somehow you can't do that with healthcare. What in the current world, even at its worst, does the average person have die more frequently from infectious diseases or cardiac failure or some treatable physical ailment, or a terrorist attack or a attack from another nation state? What as far as the odds, like if you were going to triage one place, if you're going to pack one hole more than the other in a dam that was cracking, obviously you go for the biggest one first. And the thing that, you know, while most Americans are, I'm sure, concerned about national security, and they should, and we should absolutely spend an appropriate amount on taking care of that, the chances of an American dying from those things is nothing. And it's not because we have 7 times the combined military, the world over. It's because we got oceans between us and relative allies on either side of us, and the only thing that could actually break out is the fucking end times. So, you know, conventional warfare isn't necessarily on the bill a lot of times, unless we're helping people like Ukraine, in which case all these assholes think, and I mean, I don't mean the Navy guys here, I mean Trump and his friends, Don't think we should be involved in that shit at all anymore. So why not pare that down? Keep it to its, just above bare minimum. A little extra. You need some give. You need some wiggle room. You don't want to have to, no room for error. You want some room for error, right? And how about you spend the rest of that on what kills most people? Like infectious disease, cancer, and heart disease. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah.
And they're going to build chips in America. We want to build in America. And as I told our generals and admirals last Tuesday, we are getting wokeness the hell out of our military. It's gone. It's really gone. I don't know that it was ever really here. I think some of the top people had it. I knew a few of them that they were major losers. But they were losers. Unlike our great general, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff,
Dan Raisin Cane,
who may be here,
killed ISIS in 2 days.
Dan Raisin Cane, Raisin Cane. When I heard his name, I said, "That's the guy I'm looking for." But he's been an amazing warrior, and he was the
he teabagged ISIS to death.
one headed up the attack on Iran, and everything he's touched has turned out great. He knocked out ISIS. So I was told it would take 4 to 5 years to beat ISIS. When he came on board, he did it in 4 weeks. We knocked him out in 4 weeks. 100% of the...
No, you didn't. ISIS is who was behind the bombing in Afghanistan when we were leaving the country. ISIS is who surrounded what's left of Abu Ghraib. That's why the Chinese don't really use the facility anymore. ISIS were who attacked the Soleimani... was it Soleimani's funeral in Iran? It's just the caliphate broke up because the borders of those countries. Now, when Syria fell, there's an argument that they expanded again into other areas, but they had to fight the Kurds to do it, and you're the one who left the Kurds to fight by themselves and let them at the mercy of the Turks. So,
ISIS caliphate. Is Dan Kane here? He is, what?
I think he's busy.
Why? Because he's working. That's the one thing. We don't have to worry about him. But he is a fantastic man. That's the man I wanted right from the beginning. I said, if I ever do this again and if I could get lucky enough to win, because we have a base like nobody in history has had, I said, I'm going to pick Raisin Cane as the chairman. And that's what we did, and he's been incredible. We will not be politically correct when it comes to defending American freedom. That's why we have renamed the Department of Defense at Department of War, as I said, and we have changed the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. That was easy.
Yes, relabeling things. When in doubt, wallpaper. That's what. If you got structural problems, if there's termites, rotting beams, that kind of stuff, fuck it. Just throw on some new wallpaper and then sell the place and get the fuck out. It just work. That's his real estate plan.
That was an easy one.
Yeah, it was an easy one. It's a name change. It doesn't actually do anything.
For years I've looked at it, and I added it up, and I figured we have 92% of the frontage. I say, how come we call it the Gulf of Mexico?
The frontage.
I wouldn't say that Mexico is thrilled with me, but what are you going to do? It's the Gulf of America, and I love it now. I was watching the other night a report, and they said very routinely, in the Gulf of America, this is the, they just went on to talk about it. They didn't do it with a smirk or a smile. They didn't say, in the Gulf of America. No, it's called the Gulf of America now, and nobody's playing games with it. We got sued by...
I gotta see. I think it's still called the Gulf of the Epstein Files, right?
The Associated Press, and they lost. In fact, the judge was so good, he said he's calling it the Gulf of America. He's got all the approvals. You have to do that, too, to the very liberal Associated Press. They got thrown out of court. In fact, they're almost not allowed to cover me anymore because of that. It was a big...
What the fuck? We still have freedom of the press, dipshit. Not allowed to cover you.
Hit. So I'm very...
What the fuck? Honest to God. Seriously? It's the Associated Press. It's a conglomeration of reporters. It's not even an actual newspaper.
Very proud of that. Under our leadership, the spirit of the American forces is soaring like it has never soared before.
Yes, let the eagle soar like it's never quite not till Trump's in before.
I think right now we have more spirit than we've ever had before.
Spirit? What? Spirit? Yes, he did, sir. No, spirit. Bravado, a touch of daring do. About 11:30, sir.
After years of recruiting shortages, we couldn't get guys or gals to become sailors. 1 year ago, they didn't want to be a sailor. Although I must say, once I said we're going to...
All these people were in last year. Like these people in there, see the little bars? All these people were in.
Run, a lot of people, it made it better. But let's go back 2 years.
There you go. Yeah, keep going back because you're looking around and like, oh shit, all these people have been here. They probably joined last year or the year before or the year before that.
It's even worse. You could, because there was no hope. We had
That's
this
what it was.
horrible, horrible president.
There was no hope. We were like, oh my God, we're never going to be in a sea war ever again.
Who had no clue what the hell
Yes, Biden's never going to send warships to Venezuela to blow up fishing boats.
was happening. The chances of him walking down those stairs successfully were not good. And I have to be careful because one day I'm going to probably fall. No, the North Carolina women said that will never happen to you.
Oh, it's going to happen. Yeah, you know it. He almost fell off of Marine One the other day. His foot was dragging again. That's why he's so focused on this. It's terrifying to him. Like it's gonna get pathological. He's doing the OCD banister tap every time now too. He does that tack tack tack, which is it's like early OCD signs.
Yeah. I always say walk down the steps nice and slow. You ever notice I do nice? I don't have to bop down the stairs. Walk nice and slowly. But we have a waiting list. Think of this. We have a waiting list for people wanting to get into the United States Navy, the Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Marines, Space Force. Oh, we love Space Force.
Oh, we love Space Force. Yeah, Space Force. The greatest thing since the Ass Force. Where is it? I think I have that in here. Yeah.
First new branch of the U.S. Armed Forces in 75 years, Space Force. Not since the Air Force.
Not since the Ass Force.
We have a waiting list for every branch of government now, and that includes police and firemen. They didn't want to.
Police and firemen aren't branches of government.
Nobody wanted to be a policeman. Now they want to be a policeman. Now they want to be in the Navy. They want to be in the Air Force so badly. The Marines, the Army, they want to be in all of it. They love Space Force. I love Space Force because I created Space Force. That was my thing.
He renamed a section of the Air Force that already existed.
And it's going to turn out to be one of the
which I think was Space Command.
Most important.
Right.
But 1 year ago, our country was dead.
And it's your fault.
We had a dead country.
It was dead. Yeah, it's just wiped out. So we need to, obviously, it's not alive now, but...
People say, sir, you shouldn't say that. It's too straight to withdraw. We had a dead country.
Sorry, it's too witchy withdraw? What?
Country. People say, sir, you shouldn't say that. It's too straight to withdraw.
It's too straight to withdraw. I agree. I was thinking that the other day when, man, when he says the country was dead, it's too straight to withdraw.
In a dead country. People say, sir, you shouldn't say that. It's too straight to withdraw.
It is. It's too straight to withdraw. I mean, look, it's a broken clock moment. When you're right, you're right. I think CSL, we have another drop by accident. It's too... Say it again.
We had a dead country, and today we have the hottest country anywhere in the world by far. 1 year, think of it. 1 year ago, we were dead.
Yay, we were dead.
The king of Saudi Arabia said to me,
Yeah, hey, asshole, you do realize the guys behind you fight and exist as a naval force because we fought off monarchy.
President, 1 year ago, we thought we lost America. We thought it was a dead country. And now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. He said that. I use this term. And I'm pleased to say that 2025 was the Navy's single best recruiting year ever. Not bad.
I call bullshit. I'm straight up going to call bullshit. Again, World War II being what it was.
So you went from those embarrassing headlines of a year ago. Think of it. Nobody wants to go into the Navy. How does that make you feel?
Really? That's it? Well, that was the headline? Where, on fucking Fox News? Nobody wants to go into the Navy, says Jesse Waters.
Now you have a different problem. You know what the problem is? Everybody wants your job. I like that better, right?
Yeah.
No, but nobody's going to take your job. You are
No, because there's a waiting list, obviously. They're waiting for you to not be able to do your job.
with us when it was not as nice.
You were with us when it was not as nice. This was fucking CSL. I think this was full of drops. Jesus.
Going to take your job. You were with us when it was not as nice.
You were with us when it was not as nice. It was not. It was not. I don't know why it was not.
Oh, hello there. It wasn't as nice. Those are the people I like the best, too. The people that were with me when it wasn't looking so good, like these ladies from North Carolina. They were with me when it wasn't looking that good.
Ew. You mean when you were getting dressed this morning and installing your catheter and putting on your Depends and putting your hat on over your scalp reduction surgery scars?
A lot of fake scandals were created, all fake.
All fake, especially the ones where you were found guilty by a jury.
One of those eager new recruits, 18 years.
New croats. Oh, sorry. I only like old croats.
Were created, all fake. One of those eager new recruits is 18-year.
New recruit.
Old Aiden Rollins, a recruit like I'm so proud of. Aiden's father was a sailor, his grandfather was a sailor, and after 4 years of Navy ROTC, it is Aiden's turn to carry on that tradition. When he enlisted in April, his father, Daniel, a Navy veteran, was so inspired that he decided to re-enlist too. Wow. I'm delighted to say that father and son are here with us today representing the future of this great fleet. Please, Aiden and your father, please stand up. But wow.
Those are some good genes over there. Like, you guys,
Wow, that's a good-looking family, I tell you. Thank you both. That's a great story. Beautiful. Your father looks pretty young, Aiden. I mean, he's a young-looking guy. Every sailor, aviator, submariner,
you want his number?
and shipmate in the Navy inherits a tradition of excellence and daring, power and glory unmatched in the long saga of mankind's voyage on the sea. From that first ship, the schooner Hannah.
Schooner Hannah.
To the
just do
on the sea. From that first ship, the schooner Hannah.
Hannah.
To the
schooner Hannah.
The awesome sight of a modern carrier battle group underway.
Can you imagine being that panicked by a word in your teleprompter? The schooner Hannah.
The U.S. Navy has always been the iron will of a proud and mighty nation pushing forward through the currents and over those big, beautiful waves, through the spray of raging combat and the
through the spray of raging combat.
I had to beat off
through the spray of raging
those big, beautiful waves, through the spray of raging combat and the fog of naval war.
The fog of naval war.
American,
not to be confused with naval oranges.
Sailors have proven time and again that our Navy does just the best job there is.
Did you lose the teleprompter for a second? The Navy does, what does it do? Just to own it up to her, but on her terms as a woman. Because I am not Dorothy Michaels. I am not. I'm Edward Kimberly.
Anything having to do with sailing the oceans, there's nobody to compete.
anything to do with sailing the oceans is nobody to compete.
Anything having to do with sailing the oceans is nobody to compete.
Yeah, I mean, truer words were never spoken. Most of the time they're in an order that makes sense, but sure.
We own the skies, we stalk the depths.
We stalk the depths. We own the skies, we stalk the depths.
And we rule the seas like nobody has ever ruled the seas.
I don't know, Poseidon did fairly well. I think it was,
From Boston Harbor to Hampton.
Oh, this is the from here to here, from here to here, from there to there. It's we built this city. We built this city.
Roads. From the Philippine Sea to the Red
Dancing in Chicago, down to New Orleans. Right, just
Sea. From
I'll mention a bunch of places and you guys clap for your place.
the Guadalcanal to the vast, great Atlantic.
Hold on.
Red Sea. From the Guadalcanal to
Guadalcanal, the Iguana Canal, Guadalcanal, not the Guadalcanal.
the vast, great Atlantic Ocean.
It is great, isn't it? It's so great. It's great like nobody's ever seen an Atlantic Ocean before. It's where they say Atlantis is, and which is great.
Our sailors have seized triumph upon triumph. We don't know anything about defeat.
But, I mean, you should study it so you know how not to have it. I mean, if you want to win successfully, I think you got to see how other people lost, too. I mean, like, you want to look at the whole picture. Nah, you're just going to blindfold yourself and just, yeah.
We heaped honor upon honor and carved greatness and splendor into the pages of history. We only talk about the Navy and only use that word, splendor.
That's right. It says right there in the teleprompter, Navy and Splendor. I don't understand the gobbledygook connecting it. So Navy Splendor.
Also say victory because that's the other.
Navy Splendor Victory. Let's just say those words. I don't have to make sentences.
We have splendor and we have victory on.
And we have, yes, and we have Navy, which is a color of a kind of blue.
Gun decks and flight decks.
Gun decks and boat decks.
Torpedo rooms and cockpits. They have poured out their blood, sweat, and tears and offered their very lives to defend this land between the seas. Mm-hmm. They have crossed icy canals.
Canals. Look, are there words in the teleprompter that are going like that? It seems like the words are going up like this, and one of them goes dang, or like is maybe in his teleprompter is a small Korean girl with wet hair crawling out. Hannah
leapt from burning records, plunged into frigid waters.
Sorry, burning records? Sorry, is this when people hated disco? Or
icy canals.
The great disco battles of Guadalajara?
Leapt from burning records, plunged into frigid waters, soared into deadly skies, and slashed across the mine-infested
soared into deadly skies.
Bays to claim American victory and to defend the cause of liberty, to defend, quite frankly, the American flag in every era.
I think what it stands for, not the flag itself. Like, it's not like you'd give up America just to keep the flag. I mean, you would, because you don't understand what it actually symbolizes. You just think it's a brand, and it can stand for anything. You can New Coke the shit out of it if you want to, I guess. But normal people actually want their flag to stand for something and then live up to that standard. And hence why it's called a standard.
Every part of this globe, our sailors have fought with courage in their hearts, patriotism in their souls.
And semen in their bunks. Sorry.
And salt water in their veins. You have
what?
That salt water. Don't let the doctors change it. Keep
What? Salt water in your veins? Don't let the doctors change it. And don't take acetaminophen.
But because there's nothing like it. There's no blood like it.
You're right. That's not blood. Keep that salt water in your veins. This is his closing
in
one.
their veins. You
Hold on. Wait, say that again.
hearts, patriotism in their souls,
Mm-hmm.
and salt water in their veins. You have that salt water. Don't let the doctors change it. Keep it, because there's nothing like it. There's no blood like it.
Yes, that is true. Blood is nothing like salt water. It's and if you have salt water in your veins, the doctors won't try to change it. You will have been dead for quite some time.
And standing before all of you today, I know that whatever our nation is threatened and whenever they need help,
Whatever they need help, I don't know.
whenever duty calls, American sailors will hoist our flag high and they will rally to Admiral Farragut's immortal battle cry. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead, go.
Ahead, go, you son of a gun. Just keep going. Damn you, torpedoes, full speed ahead. And also extemporaneous additions, because I can't let anything stand without adding a little bit of my poop smear all over whatever history said. I don't even understand it.
Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead, go, you son of a gun. With your help, we will fight. We will win.
And we will fart. And we will sin.
Because of you, our Navy and our country.
Navy. Because the little Korean girl started crawling out of the word Navy.
Will always be.
It's like that gnat thing. I think he's seeing bugs. You know what I mean? Like they're just.
Proud and righteous and mighty and free. Congratulations once again on 250 years of total dominance. Sail fast, stay strong. Thank you. God bless our sailors and God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, everybody.
That was it. And then it cut straight to Pritzker, I guess. And I don't know why he didn't play in the Navy. You know what I mean? Like, that seems like a missed opportunity. If you're going to go straight up, you know, why not?
Let's party like we're moving Guns and dongs and vested thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Guns and dongs and vested thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Boink, boink, dooby-doo. You know what I wanna do. Yay! Boink, boink, dooby-doo. You know what I wanna do. Buster.
In the Navy. In the Navy. In the Navy. In the Navy. All right. I can't get the rights to In the Navy, so I was just trying to play the next best thing. You guys made it. We made it through it. Wow, we cleared the. I'm very impressed. We got through a ton of shit today, and we still. I mean. I still got this. I have to cover this tomorrow. I have to. This is Vinny going after Nutlick because of his relation to Epstein and I don't know what peanut butter dickheads trying to. Greatest blackmailer ever. Howard Lutnick disturbing story of neighbor Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. The story's not going to die and Vinny's not going to let it go. And I'm for it. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys are awesome. Like, subscribe. All that kind of stuff. I gotta go. I know. No, I gotta go. I stayed long. Anyways, I appreciate you guys wanting me to stay all night, but I can't do it. I gotta go feed the fam. Subscribe, will ya? Comment on the videos. This song's loud. I barely talk over it. Would you please? Would you please just like... on the videos. And by the way, thanks everybody who posts the Twitch clips. Appreciate it. I see you. I love you. You're awesome. See you tomorrow. Oh, yes. What?
the biggest loser is the state with the shortest dick.
I like wood.
This is 100% fact here. Wow.
Would you classify that as a launch rifle or a design rifle? Groovy.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
I'm your father, Luke. Give in to the dark side of the Force, you knob.
I think there's some kind of deviated treatment.
You're like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.
Listen, Betty, don't start up with your white zone shit again.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
Sorry about it.
Take off, eh?
You lied to me.
They laughed at us when we said that aliens existed, and they mocked us when we started wearing bubble wrap jumpsuits. But who's laughing now, huh? I'll tell you who's laughing now. We are! Soon we will leave this lame planet and fly through outer space with cool aliens who like us. It is going to be awesome!
Sportos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads. They all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
We need you. Hell, I need you. I'm a mess without you. I miss you so damn much. I miss being with you. I miss being near you. I miss your laugh. I miss your sing. I miss your buzz. When this all gets sorted out, I think you and me should get an apartment together.
You stay classy, San Diego.
Does the president or any other responsible agency know about this?
Why are you dressed like that? Okay, you guys aren't privy to all the new shit, so, but hey, that's what you pay me for.